This is the X&C Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Mag, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, X&C Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox newscast. Welcome. My name's Colteastwood, and over here, I've got my buddy Mag. How are you doing?
Yes.
Mag, what's going on, bro?
Well, clearly there's no gaming news that dropped in the last hour or so. So we're just going to talk about lasagna. We're going to talk about, I don't know. We're going to talk
Wait a minute. I got that too. Where is it?
I don't know.
Have you tried the lasagna? That's my favorite.
Have you tried the lasagna? That's my favorite. That's all we're going to talk about. We're not going to talk about any sequel games out there that may or may not be coming out in 2025. Nothing like that. But anyways, Sith Lord, I saw what you said, by the way. We hadn't even started the show, and he's like, the show be on time if Mag was on time. And I'm like, Mag was here. Okay, we, as a professional unit, that's on Spotify, of course, please check us out on Spotify, is that we want to make sure that our levels and our mics are all good and everything is perfect for our lovely audience.
Yeah, I think for once I have it. Yeah, but I was just getting a message. Yeah, I'm so excited.
Yes.
Mag jumps on the thing. He's like, check, microphone, check. He's like, bro, when's the last time news broke right before the show? And we were like,
never.
Yes. So, yeah, hit the like button.
Never happens.
Hit the like button if you're about to have a good time. Yeah, it never happens for us, bro. And I'm so excited. Yep. We've got a really great show. We're going to break down the Grand Theft Auto news, the trailer, all the information. I've been researching it. Mag's been watching it over and over, salivating. But before we get in, we're also going to talk about Game Awards stuff. And there's a couple nuggets that are coming today. Shout out to Red Wolf, Boss Mod, Lethal Papa, Happy Bomb. Great moderators and great people. True 77, a lot of people. Thank you so much for being here. Mag, how have you been?
Yes.
This fine one day.
Actually, what's really funny is, it wasn't funny at all. At the end of last week's show, I got offline, I went upstairs, and I started getting ready for bed because it's late in this in this neck of the woods, right? So I'm getting ready for bed and all that stuff. I'm like, man, I don't feel so great, but I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm just tired. And I woke up with COVID the next day. So I did, yeah. So I had COVID all of last week. So it was a real barrel of laughs. Let me tell you. I mean, that's the second or third time I got it, but whatever. It is what it is. So I had COVID all week. So I missed a couple days of work, and I got to get some more than usual gaming in, which was wonderful. So I finally started Alan Wake properly. Yeah, I know it. So I was doing that. I think I'm about 5 or 6 hours in. Great game. Now, however, I did hold off on playing more of it because I only play it when my wife is watching because she loves the story. So she's like, I need to watch this game. And she loves to sit there and watch me play the game. And she helps me out with like puzzles and stuff, right? So anyways, so there's that.
I'm so dumb. Kidding. I need that, honey.
My wife loves that stuff. She'll sit there and be like, go check the bookshelf. Like things like that, right? So she's great for that. She loves watching games. Like she watches them like movies. Anyways, I got...
She goes, did you watch your PS5 today?
Well, here's the thing. I got Modern Warfare 3 for free last week.
Nice.
And guess what, folks? I actually really enjoyed it. I know some people, it might be, I was the first one to complain about it, but I got to tell you, once I played the campaign, I don't know what the fuss was about with the campaign. It was long. It was like 14 chapters. And the average Call of Duty campaign is about 15 chapters, maybe 16. Do you like the dog biscuits? They're my favorite.
Do you like hot fudge sundaes?
Yeah. No, you can't give them fudge. You'll kill it. You'll kill it. Do you like just Sundays without the fudge? Anyways, listen, Modern Warfare 3, I really enjoyed the campaign.
Like a white Russian, hold the milk? Yeah.
Yeah, hold the milk, yeah. It was a lot of fun. And it was 14 chapters. Like I thought it was pretty meaty. I enjoyed it. And some of the open, world missions and stuff, they were fun. I enjoyed myself. So I played through that. I played a little bit of the multiplayer.
Wait, hold on. What do you give? Yeah. What do you give the campaign? Like, what kind of score would you give it?
I gave it like an 8. I gave it an 8. I thought it was good. Now, there is one thing. The reason why I took away a 1.5 for that is that you could clearly see that this was literally just glorified Warzone.
Yeah.
Like the open world areas, like you're going out there, you're grabbing stuff, you're loading up on like those, those metal, the plates that you put into your body armor. So, that kind of stuff. I'm like, this is basically just Warzone. But when you play the other missions, it was actually a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Now, mind you, I also got it for free, so maybe that had a lot to do with it. I'm not really 100% sure. All I know is that
financial burden on it. Yeah.
Yeah, there was no financial burden on it, but you know what? I did really enjoy it. So I played a lot of that, and I also dove into because I'm waiting for my wife again to finish get into Alan Wake again. I'm about 15 hours into, maybe almost 20 hours into Tiny Tina's Wonderland. I'm a huge Borderlands fan, dude.
But it's a cool game. Yeah, it's unique, and once you get to where you do a lot more throwing out spells and shooting, it's pretty unique. It's a pretty fun game. People shouldn't be skipping it. This is Loki, by the way.
No,
this is one of my good friends. Yeah, you went down, buddy. Yeah, he wants down.
Yeah,
my kids come get him if you start scratching at the door. Tiny Tina's.
Tiny Tina's. Now, here's the thing. I went to GameStop for something completely different. It was something for my son. He was trading in something. He was getting something, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm standing there, and you know how they have like the bargain bin, like right next to the, right by the cash register or whatever. They usually have the bargain bin. And I'm just thumbing through it. I'm like that. I'm like, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I'm like, man, that's one Borderlands game I never got to play, right? So I pull it out and I look at it. $13. 100% it was a mistake, and I'll tell you why. If you go to the PlayStation Store right now, at least in Canada, digitally, it's $89.99 still on the on the PlayStation Store. I went to the Xbox Store. Yep, the Xbox Store, not much better. It was $79.99, and I'm like, how is this game so full price? And I found it at GameStop, and it was $13. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna argue. I'm just going to put it on the counter casually and look the other way like I'm robbing the place, right? So I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to buy this. The guy's like, all right. He's like, all right, that'll be like $14.50, bro. And I'm like, holy crap, did that just happen? I just got the game for like with tax, like it was $14.50. And the game is still almost $100 on the store. It was nuts. Anyways, so it's great. And if you're a Borderlands fan and you never got to play it, please go out and play it. It's a lot of fun. Great little game. And the only thing is that Tiny Tina tends to like interfere a lot in that voice of hers. So I tend to turn it down. I turn it down the volume a little bit, and I listen to podcasts in the background while I'm playing in the open world. So, anyways, Colteastwood, what have you been playing, sir?
I gave a proper finish of Fallout 4. I sided with the Brotherhood. I went, and the Brotherhood goes, we need you to go murder the railroad. I'm like, but they're nice people. So I had to go into their location and just kill all of them, took all their stuff. And then I had to go to the Institute, murder everybody inside the underground lab, and then built Liberty Prime. And he was just hucking gigantic, nukes that were this big in the world. He was like throwing them like footballs and just taking everybody out as he walked through the wasteland, and then rolled the credits like properly. Cause I did that all last night, and I was like, crap, man, I think Fallout 4 is one of my favorites behind, this one over here. So I've been doing that and waiting for Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. And it comes out in 3 days, and marketing is like not saying a word. So I think that game's going to bomb, but
you know what? I noticed that too.
It's bad.
What the hell? What's going on with that? I mean, they were giving early previews to big YouTubers like 2 months ago, which is always a great sign, right? So that's usually a good sign with it. When they call people out to play it, you're like, okay, this game must be good. Because if it wasn't good, they wouldn't invite anybody to their studios to go play it. And then, of course, let alone talk about it on their million sub channels, right? Yeah. So
it's gonna be bad.
You know what I mean?
It's gonna be like a 68 Metacritic, and
you think so?
Yeah, and I hope I like it, because I kind of want to just play that open world thing, like just kind of bite down on that chewy goodness. But let's just get right into it and talk about Grand Theft Auto 6. And before we do, I'll just say, a couple hours before the show was about to go up, I was prepping everything, and the trailer leaked by some hacker. I'll tell you in a minute how that kind of happens, but it leaked, and Dreamcast guy's like, the trailer leaked, and he had it playing on Twitter, and I'm like, and I scrolled out of the way. I'm like, I don't want to see it this way. It had a big logo over it that said like, buy Bitcoin. And I'm like, that's not how I want to see it. Some low grade quality leaked version of the trailer that's supposed to come out tomorrow.
Right.
And so just moments after this, I was talking to Randall Thorne. He's like, Rockstar just went ahead and put it up. And they said, hey, it leaked. Here it is. And so what happened was...
Well, yeah, why wait? Yeah.
Yes. I want to talk about that as well. But what happened, Mag, was they put it up this morning as a premiere and had people waiting to watch it. And it's very possible that a staff member of YouTube probably got a very generous offer they couldn't refuse from someone. Get me access to that, download that for me, and I'll pay you a nice amount and no one has to know. I think it came within YouTube, that it wasn't like a Rockstar internal leak, that it was a YouTube employee behind the scenes, because once you put up a video for Premiere or unlisted or private, anybody in a certain level of staff for YouTube is able to grab that, look at it and everything. It's not purely private. And there it is, leaked at 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the West Coast. And the first thing I did was message you. I'm like, Mag, it's up. You can watch it, like when it was official.
Yep, I caught it within the first 10 minutes of it going up. So, ironically, the internet did not crash and burn like I thought it was going to. Like, I thought the whole internet was going to collapse with this game, but I'm assuming that the infrastructure, the internet infrastructure has improved over the years, because you remember when a big trailer dropped like that, like a Star Wars trailer back in like 20 whatever. Yeah, everything would just die. Like the internet would just die because the whole world was trying to watch it. But smooth sailing, man. And I watched it several times because it's only a minute and a half. That's what I expected, about a minute 20, minute 25. And we'll get you can see the formula. It's the Rockstar formula. They're just gonna go with the teaser, which they just did now. You get the idea, you get the premise, you get the characters. And that's it. That's and of course the location, and they show you where you're going to be, what's happening, what the story vaguely is about, that kind of thing. So you set it all up, and then you let it sit and marinate for about 6 to 8 months. You know that at E3 they're going to drop trailer number 2, and I don't mean E3. I mean, because E3 doesn't exist, but it's the summer games time, like between June and like July there, when all the big showcases happen, which used to be E3. So they're going to do the second trailer there. And that's when they do the story trailer, right? And the story trailer is going to be the second one, just like GTA 5, GTA 4, and the rest of them, Red Dead Redemption, all that. And then they'll go into the story of, my name is blah, 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 blah. And I ended up here at da-da-da-da. And blah, 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 right? And they're going to do all that. And then while they're doing that, they're going to hit story beats. And then they're going to show a lot of gameplay in the second trailer, because that's usually what they do. They operate like that. And then we could already see that in the fall, they're going to start doing those little exposés, like those 5 or 10 minute videos where they're saying, they have the girl with the sexy voice going, she goes, in Grand Theft Auto 6, you will be able to ride helicopters on top of the propellers or whatever, right? Like something stupid,
Yeah.
And so they're going to,
I'm asking the audience if they've seen the trailer by now, because it's only a couple hours old, and I don't want to spoil too much.
Not even.
But what is Well, I've actually got numbers on that. So 86% of you have seen the trailer. So what I will do is I put together a visual collage of the screenshots I took at 4K, and they're shrunk down to fit on a 1080p screen here. So what you're looking at, where's my show? There we go. What you're looking at is 9 screenshots that I took of the trailer that's a minute and a half long. So it gives you an idea of the visual. I really want to break down, Mag, everything that this offers. And I've got a bunch of bullet points to talk about it. But let me ask you first and foremost what you think of the visuals. Because, I don't just want to ask you a question, interview you, but my first reaction was like, you're kind of getting the Red Dead 2 graphic fidelity at a bigger scale. So what was your first impression when you saw the visuals? The funny thing, now that you mentioned that, it still has that, what I like to call, when it comes to the movement of the characters, it still has that Rockstar jank kind of vibe to it. Like, you see, like, when the characters move, they kind of got like this thing going on, and I know what they're trying to do. What they're trying to do is they're trying to mimic weight, right? So that the characters don't look weightless and just kind of flying around the screen or kind of thing. So there's still that
tiniest, like it seems like they incrementally get better at it every game that comes out, but there's still that little, if anybody knows what I'm talking about, it's that Rockstar jank of the character movements, and it's usually the NPCs and stuff, not the actual playable characters, because the playable characters, they move well, but sometimes when you look at some of the other guys with the way they move, like if they run, they got that tiny bit of jank to it, which is kind of funny. But anyways, it looks incredible. So the thing is, what blows my mind is sometimes when it zooms in close, you're like, this is a video game, right? Yeah. Especially that beach shot, you know, when you got like Cardi B standing there with her little bikini on and whatever, and then you see the two people jogging and whatever, and you're like, okay, that's a video game. But then you see like another shot where you're like, holy crap, I can't tell if that's a movie or if that's a video game, right? When they pan out just a little bit, it is mind-blowingly beautiful. And like you look at the way the cars were driving, the way like even the movement, you see that scene with all the motorcycles and stuff like that. I thought that was real. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, holy crap.
It still kind of looks like Grand Theft Auto 5, but improved. But then it also, I get that too, where like if you just barely squint, some of this stuff can look like real film footage. It's pretty cool.
You know what, Martin Maduena. I love that name. It's a great name. Martin Maduena. He says it looks like a Rockstar game. He's 100% correct.
Yeah.
And that's basically what it looks like. And that's why I brought out, yeah, I know, but that's why I brought up that little thing about the character, what I like to call the NPC jank of like the character. And it's not really a jank per se. It's just they got just that tiniest bit of a weird wiggle when they move that you're like, okay, it's Rockstar.
It's that little tiny portion of Uncanny Valley that reminds you that it's a video game, or reminds you that it's not, it's a Rockstar game. And I don't even think we're even would complain about that. It just kind of reminds you like, this is what I cannot wait to get into this. This thing already has 1.3 million views in 1 hour and 3.6 million likes. And I'm not even convinced that YouTube has been able to keep up with the actual view count before they're, validated and then publicly shown. But the like ratio is probably in the 90 percentile, I would think.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I can't think, I mean, there's a very small minority of people who are like, you know what, it's just not for me. Hey, that's fine. Like I said, like enjoy what you enjoy. Special Nick is a scumbag, though. There's a big difference. I'm talking about normal gamers.
Yeah.
You hear that, Special Nick? I know it's like Thursday over there in Australia, but you're still listening.
Meg, so looking at these 9 pictures, where's your eye drawn to? What do you like in what you're seeing, bro?
Well, I'd like to make a joke and say the girl in the bikini, because some other people said that, because I actually posted the same picture. I like the
Meg's
nightclub.
Tweet. Wowzers.
Yeah. I like the what's it called? I like the scene in the Now, let me ask you a question though, by the way, before I get into this. Look at the one on the bottom right. The bottom right. Okay, where you got the hotel.
Motel.
Whatever, motel. I heard that they were brother and sister. I don't know any brother and sisters who sit on a bed like that and look at each other unless they're from like,
Not up in this hemisphere, probably not.
Yeah,
no. But maybe over on the PlayStation camp, but I'm not sure.
Cold, come on. I'm in that camp too,
Well, if the shoe fits.
Yeah, well, isn't that something? Okay. I was starting to wonder. I'm like, wait a minute. This isn't a brother and sister. Brothers and sisters don't lovingly look into each other's eyes in the bed.
Brothers got a hug. Where's your eye drawn here?
My eye is drawn to the nightclub shot that looks like, basically it looks like downtown Miami, Miami Beach, like Miami Beach on a Saturday night. That shot there, even though it's modern day, clearly it's modern day, it still has that Scarface 80s vibe of like, the opening of Scarface when Tony Montana and what's his face there are washing dishes and they're outside of the Babylon Club and they're watching the cars go by and dropping people off in the clubs and stuff and they're watching them go. It's basically like the same shot. It's almost like an homage to that shot of like that little, you look down the laneway and you see all the clubs and all the restaurants, whatever, and you see all the cars lining up. Yeah.
And it was, recreated in Vice City back in 2002 or whatever that was, or 01. Yeah, crazy.
I I love it though. That draws my attention because when it comes to a Rockstar game, nighttime, especially in a Grand Theft Auto game specifically, because Red Dead Redemption, that's the Wild West. There's not a whole lot going on at night, right? I mean, you need lanterns, you need torch lights, you need that kind of stuff. But in Grand Theft Auto games, like even Grand Theft Auto 5, you play it right now, and you go to in the nighttime and you fly over the city and stuff. It's gorgeous. Right,
Yeah,
when you see when you see the city lit up and stuff, you're like, "Wow!" So this is going to draw me more into that. I want to play more at night kind of vibe to it. You know what I mean? And I could see myself going off like maybe out of the city or that kind of thing in the daytime, and you know what I mean. And it just, I'm really excited. Either way, I'm super excited about it, and I love that it's back in Vice City. Speaking of which, and I'm going to pass it off to Colt for a moment here, but Rockstar, I know you're not listening, okay, but please, for the love of God, you have to give us a Vice City radio station. You have to. And what I mean by that is you have to have
an 80s one? Like an 80s?
Yes, that's what I meant, like a Vice City the game radio station. I want all the songs that they had in Vice City on one radio station. They can do it.
And actually have the Vice City radio stations, which
yes.
I used to have all those songs downloaded. I've got them somewhere.
Too.
You know,
I bought the box set, dude.
I would say I would expect 80s music to have its own radio station in this, because in 2013, 10 years ago for Grand Theft Auto 5, they had the oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the name. They had the classic rock radio, which had 70s and 80s. And it's been 10 years, so the classic for this game would be mid 80s to late 80s. So I would expect that. I do. I want Cutting Crew. I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight. I want stuff like that, man.
Come on. Yeah. We got to have that. We got to have the Bryan Adams. We got to have the Flock of Seagulls.
Wait. Which Bryan Adams song do you need?
Run to You. It has to be Run to You or
yes. I love
that song. That was in Vice City, right? That was in Vice City.
Cool.
He's riding the motorcycle on the thing. I'm going to run to you. Yeah, like I almost like totally was gonna swear like crazy just now. I'm
gonna run to you, baby.
Yeah. Oh, so vibing that. So
how about that Tom Petty song that I learned today, which comes from one of his great albums, Moon Fever, that has Running Down a Dream, Free Fallin', Don't Back Down. So I listened to that album today while I was getting the show ready. I'm like, oh man, this is some good stuff. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, somebody told me. I went and looked. Right now, it's been 2 hours. That trailer's at almost 9.2 million views. Yudana Kazada says, "I want some Depeche Mode in there." Yeah.
Yes, I want Depeche Mode in there. I want all those bands, man. You know, I want all of them. I want all the music. I want Cyndi Lauper. I want Duran Duran. I want all of it.
Kurt 5150 says. Kurt 5150 says, "I want Boys of Summer and a Run to You." That Run to You, that opening riff with capo on the second fret, and I love that stuff so much.
Let's go, man.
I love.
Let me hear your 80s songs in the chat, guys. Guys and gals, write down your 80s songs. I want to hear which ones we want to see in the game, in the what I like to call the tip of the cap original Vice City radio station, where they're going to play all the songs from the 80s. Let's go.
Paul Smith says, "Journey Separate Ways." I'll give you two of my de facto 80s songs. "Don't Dream It's Over" by Crowded House, or "Drive" from the Cars. That slow drive is a great song. You too, Joshua Tree. Love that so much.
Who's gonna hold cold tonight?
I love how they upgraded the Chevelle car, like their version of the Chevelle in this trailer. Let's break down some of the stuff we saw in this. But you were talking about how happy people are with this, with the like ratio and everything. I'll tell you who's not happy about Grand Theft Auto 6, and it's the PC guys, because they confirmed today that it's not coming to PC day and date.
It doesn't matter, because most PC guys I know all have a console one way or another. Most of them have PlayStations, because the majority of your Xbox games that come out, and even Xbox Game Pass, whatever, you're getting on PC anyway, right? So a lot of the guys that have PC have PlayStation 5s. So they're going to either play it on PlayStation 5s, or if they really have the cash for it, they can, all pun intended, they can pony up for a PS5 Pro that should probably... which they're probably going to launch some around the time of that game, which of course fits into my narrative. I know people like lost their minds when someone else said on Twitter the other day, but I mean, if this thing does happen, this PS5 Pro, and it's 100%, I can, and the market, now this, we're going to go into a new conversation when we're going to talk about eventually who's going to get the marketing rights. And that's where my last video, by the way, I posted a new video, everybody go check it out. It's actually, it's on my Twitter and it's on my, what the hell is it called? The one where the Chinese spy on us. TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah. Where the Chinese are spying on the mag with no shirt on.
Is this the guy that was naked in front of his PS5?
That's the one.
That's the dude.
By the way,
oh my gosh, Patman Jones says Caribbean
Queen. I love that song.
Caribbean Queen. Never sharing the same dream.
That's right. And our heart is beat as one. Yeah.
Yep. That is a good tune.
Life on the run.
I love that.
God, I love him. Stray Cats, yes, man. Bledsoe, thank you. Stray Cats.
So many
Stray
good
Cat
songs.
Strut.
Yeah, I was totally ruined. You know, I'm a dude that, you know, like when you come of age, when you're in your teens, like grunge was really big, but I was so stuck in the 80s in high school.
Yeah.
So that music to me, I just think back when I was a kid and my mom drove us around running errands and she's playing top 40 in the 80s when I was younger. Like that music was just like, so loving this Vice City stuff. Let's break down.
Sorry, Colt, before you do it,
yeah.
Mike Wilkinson, I think you meant to say Def Leppard, but he put Chef Leppard.
Chef Leppard photograph. Can you imagine? Look, today we're on Chef Leppard, we're going to be cooking up a wonderful round butt roast. We're going to cook up a wonderful one-arm lamb. It's delicious, brazen. Yeah, Chef Leppard.
Chef Leppard. I'm going to go see them in concert actually in a few weeks.
Can you imagine it's a Def Leppard tribute band and they're all really heavy and they've got like a buffet line while they're like, did you try the lasagna?
Yeah.
Hey, if you
Did
go
you try
to
the rack of lamb, it's
if
my
you
favorite.
go to Discord, I added the lasagna and the Sunday soundbite thing. You should be able to get to it. Give it a shot real quick. See if you can find it.
Lasagna? It's my favorite.
To the Sunday, I added.
Sundays? You like hot fudge Sundays? You like hot fudge Sundays?
Wait.
You like hot fudge Sundays? You like hot fudge Sundays?
Yeah.
Listen, at the end he goes, all right. After the.
You like hot fudge Sundays? All right.
You know why? Did you when you watch the video, the guy who goes up is such a jerk. He goes up, he goes, give me that. Yeah,
I've
give me
listened
that.
to it like 100 times because you sent it to me and you wrote "give me that" in all caps. I go there and the guy's like, he's trying to talk to me. Did you watch the game last? Give me that.
Yeah. Can you imagine going? Let me ask you a question before you get back into the GTA 6 talk.
You mean before we talk about video games? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, video games. Can you imagine what kind of a human being you'd have to be to walk up to a buffet and there's a guy standing there and then he's got like the big carving knife and he's
You're
standing
looking at him.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden the guy says something to you like, "Hey, how's it going, man? Are you enjoying your evening?" And you just go, "Give me that." What? Who does that?
What else would he be pointing at? He's got nothing there but a piece of wood to carve and a roast, and he's like, "Give me that."
Hold on. To be fair, what if the guy wanted the cutting board?
Yeah, that's
Like he liked the cutting board. He wanted to take it home. He goes, "Give me that."
puts it under his shirt.
Yeah,
This will
like
stop bullets.
He didn't specifically say, "Can I have a slice of roast?" He said, "Give me that."
And he knew the
never
cameras
know.
were watching him. What do you think that guy's name was? I'm looking at him, I'm like,
I've been trying to find out forever. Bismarckese The Vapors. Good song, Phantom Beat. Thank you for that. I saw somebody else say Run DMC King of Rock. That would be an excellent song. Yes, carry on, Colt. Let's get back into the show.
I mean, you can't go wrong with those. So let's talk about what we did see in the trailer. We got the pictures up while we talk about the game. Lucia is in jail first, so we know she breaks out of the pen, and then she just immediately goes into crime. So let's talk about this setting. What we kind of did. We kind of talked about the setting. I did catch one thing. There's a hovercraft going through like do you know about the Everglades? It's like
Yes.
is that like the big wetland swamp area of
Yes.
Florida? I don't know my
Yeah,
stuff.
no, I've been to Florida a million times.
Okay.
So
how much do you want to bet we can drive that hovercraft thing? What are those things called? Those
yeah,
big,
they're not hovercrafts. I can't remember the name of them. By the way, this is Gizmo. So you had your cat? Or sorry, you had your dog? Here's the cat. What up, cat? What'd you think about GTA 6? It was awesome. Oh, all right, buddy. All right, get out of here. Get out of here. He's a sphinx, by the way. He's an Egyptian sphinx.
oh, okay.
There you go, buddy. Get out of here. He's from North Africa. Yeah,
like-
only the best for the mag.
Yeah, now I'm seeing it. Because I got to bring this back over here so I can. Where is this thing?
Yeah, does
so
somebody actually know the like?
What a
Okay, so
great looking
Dr.
cat.
Dinglenut. Thank you. I have 2 of them. Some people are calling it a fan boat. Some people are calling it an airboat.
They call them swamp boats, or am I just?
Yeah, like I know the ones you're talking about. It's got the gigantic propeller like right behind your chair.
You know, there's going to be a chase scene with one of those, right? That's got to be a mission.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that they had the same boats in Mafia 3. Remember Mafia 3?
Yes.
Because it was like the swamps and all that stuff. You had the same boats in there, right? You know what they should do, by the way, for fun? You know how like that giant propeller's in a cage? They should take the cage off just to add a little more excitement so that if you hit a bump, you might end up in the propeller. So you don't know if you're going to live or die while you're driving it. Yeah,
you gotta hold
wouldn't that
on.
make the ride? Yeah, wouldn't that make the ride that much more exciting? Like he's like,
You
crap,
lean
if I hit a
back
bump,
and the
I'm
bullet
dead.
hits the propeller.
Yeah.
Let me read a couple supers. We just got a couple here.
Okay,
before we
Dr.
start
Dingle
breaking
Nut.
down.
He's saying they're called airboats. He
Airboats?
lives in South
Okay.
Florida. Yes.
Awesome.
How's the meth down there? I heard the meth is really good at this time of year.
Mag!
Well, hey, it's Florida.
good
What am I
season.
supposed to say?
good
It's meth season. Mind you, it's Florida. It's always meth season. Carry on, Colt.
We've got some of this October, Brunt. Kung Fu Hot Dog with a €5 says Colt mystery guest, which is Mag, keeping my co-host, keeping my GTA 6 expectations in check. Also found out my job ends toward this month. We'll take a leap of faith in the new year. Yeah, Kung Fu Hot Dog, good luck to you, man.
Kung Fu Hot Dog, first of all, listen, I want you to do me a favor. First of all, I have faith in you that you're going to do well in the new year and you're going to find yourself a great job and you're going to find a great, moving forward. So don't worry about the old job. We'll worry about the new job. However, what you're going to do is you're going to go down to wherever you live, go down and get all your legal documentation changed to your name, whatever your name is, if it's George or whatever, you're changing it to Kung Fu Hot Dog officially. You know why?
Open up all kinds of opportunities for you in the future.
Listen, let me tell you something. I'm a senior even though I look like a complete goof and I talk like a complete clown, I'm actually a senior executive for a corporation, okay? I would hire you instantly at a minimum 6-figure salary just because your name is Kung Fu Hot Dog. I'm telling you right now, I would do that. You know what? Do you know that I hired a guy named Dylan? Just so you know what, if anybody ever caught me saying this stuff, I'm totally like gonna get in trouble. I hired a guy named Dylan just so I could do the Schwarzenegger thing from Predator. So every time he comes into work, I go, Dylan, you son of a bitch. And then I clap his hands like him and Carl Weathers. I've been doing that for years to this guy. Every time he walks in, and he's such a hey man, whatever. Like he's like totally cool. Hey dude. Every time he walks in the door, I go, Dylan, you son of a bitch. Like I've been doing it for years.
But he's got no
hired him just 'cause of his
qualifications,
name.
but that one thing just makes it for you.
No, I hired him for the name. I mean, he had qualifications, but so did other people. But I'm like, no. It's because I'm going to call him Dylan the way Schwarzenegger does. Dylan!
I lost out to a guy named Dylan.
So Kung Fu Hot Dog, change your legal name to
Move
Kung
to
Fu Hot Dog.
Canada, and you'll get a job.
Move to Canada. Listen, you're going to get a great... No, my corporation's American. Stay down there. I'll find somebody...
Reconnect, and we're reconnected. Sorry if you get a little stream buffer there as YouTube goes.
Yeah, I just got
on.
that. What? Yeah, no, they've been doing that a lot lately. Even with the monster channels like Nerdrotic and stuff, like million sub channels.
Aren't we
They're
monster?
like stuttering. Well, we're great. We're amazing. But like they're like 800,000 subs above us. Don't worry about it. We're gonna catch up to them. Anyways, carry on.
Welcome to the channel membership to Run Y. For some reason, that's kind of interesting to read. Agent Shadow Wolf, thank you so much for the 5. Says, hey Colt, I'm betting Sony is now pushing for Wolverine to release in 2024 because they know GTA 6 will absolutely destroy. No, he doesn't say that. We'll get Game of the Year in 2025 no matter what. Well, Insomniac doesn't want Game of the Year. They just don't want their sales cannibalized. But what do you think of that, Mag?
They'll work
Wolverine
around
versus-
that. Yeah, Scorpio, come on, man. He's like, how's Mag's company not bankrupt yet? You know, Dylan actually turned out to be quite leasing for the next 5 years. And of course, it's tentative, right? So they move things around, they shift things around depending on. It's just like when you do a schedule for work. Like I do a schedule for work 6 weeks in advance, right? But you know things are going to happen within those 6 weeks. They're like, oh, bro, I can't do this. Or one calls in sick, this and that, whatever. So you have to be able to interchange everything and move things around, right? That's how it works.
Even
they do the same thing. Yeah.
No, I'm listening. That's why I look over here
Oh,
so I
sorry.
don't interrupt you.
Oh no, sorry, no. What I was saying is, you do that when you're like doing a schedule for like, especially like far in advance, like 6 weeks in advance, but nothing is solid. These companies do the same thing when it comes to video game releases, right? They have their charts. Same thing with movie studios, the same thing. So they have it all lined up, and they have everything there is tentative release, tentative release, tentative release, and then they're always going to have a little corner with a question mark that says GTA 6, and you know that they're doing it.
Yeah,
like or Call of Duty, but Call of Duty is a little more predictable because Call of Duty's either October or beginning of November.
Right, yeah, it is pretty predictable. It's like a 2-week window usually. But even Insomniac was very careful about landing anywhere near Starfield, even though Starfield might not have been cannibalizing any sales of Spider-Man 2. But yeah, Mag's right. That is a real thing. And shout out to over 800 people who are watching the show. This is the XSC Podcast, episode 128. I don't often do station identification, but thank you for being here. The show. I'm here with my co-host, middle-aged game guy, and we are rapping about Grand Theft Auto 6. And we're going to be talking about the Game Awards. Hit the like button. That like button should hit around 500 before you end the show. We really appreciate you being here and hanging out to talk about the excitement we have for this game and some other stuff. I actually heard today that Xbox has something that fans are going to be really excited about for the Game Awards. We'll get into that as well. One last super is from Balding Baby says, with a $2. Thank you, Balding Baby. Says, Mag, did you know you're bald?
You know what? I think that was in reference. I think that super chat came up when Gizmo jumped up on my lap. So yeah.
Gunny672, thank you for the 5. Says TJ and Bonnie, we like the cars that go boom. Also, my posse's on Broadway by Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Yeah, my posse's on Broadway. That's a great song.
I hated that song growing up. Thought it was so cheesy. Song. Yeah, I never liked it.
It is cheesy, but
yeah. Yeah, and then Buttermilk Biscuits. I remember that, man. Everybody, oh gosh, you're taking me way back. Let's break down this Grand Theft Auto thing as well. Yeah. There is one thing I have to say. There were plenty of what do you call that stuff on the front of the other sex, like the there was like chest area stuff. There was
oh yes.
So in this trailer, there was like scantily dressed women. Guys, crazy wild guys twerking on a car. There was bikinis and clothes not down to here. But what am I getting at is it's like this game is probably not going to try and be inoffensive. Is that a good way to say it? Because people hate when you say the word woke, but I mean it is a real thing. So watching this, what are you thinking?
Yeah, you know what? It crossed my mind. But I'm like, all right, let's see if Rockstar has the balls to keep doing what they're doing with their satire or whatever, or are they going to be afraid? So that's still up in the air because all we saw was a trailer. But however, they seem like they're staying on course with what they did. Like they even made jokes. Like actually, if you look carefully at some of these shots, there's a shot there where they're making fun of Big Pharma. Did you see that? Like particularly American Big Pharma, because don't forget Rockstar is not American.
What was it?
In case anybody didn't know that. It just showed like these pills that were up on the wall. And it said, I can't remember what the hell it said. Does it make you feel comfortable? Or these pills will make you feel comfortable, make you feel happy, something like that. And it shows pills hugging each other, and it's basically a stab at Americans being totally over medicated, and that's just a fact. Americans are the most medicated people on the planet, and especially because Big Pharma runs the show, right? So let's not forget, Rockstar is not American. Rockstar is originally British, so they're probably taking a little stab at American society, which all the Grand Theft Auto games do. They do a great job. Yeah. So let's just see if I can't see them going woke per se. What I can see them is poking fun at it, though, right? Because. Yep. What a lot of people refer to right now, and it's happening. You could say it's not happening. Never mind the Xbox tax. There's a culture war going on right now, and the culture war is starting to slowly swing back the other way. As you see, these companies are not going bankrupt, but they're losing hundreds of millions, if not billions, of dollars because people are rejecting a lot of stuff now, right? What's up, Disney? So they're doing their thing. So I have a feeling that Rockstar is going to poke fun at a lot of the stuff that's going on and keep it light, and I think they're going to keep away from any of the controversy in terms of upsetting certain groups on one side, on the other side. I think they're going to go down the middle and just make fun of everybody. Right? Now, if you watch you watch that episode of South Park, Into the Panderverse, where a lot of people were like championing it, saying, "Oh, they're making fun of all the woke crap," which they were. But now here's the but: they were also making fun of the other side, calling everything woke when they don't actually understand what the term actually means.
Like,
right?
Yeah, people actually really do use that word when it's something that they don't personally agree with or like.
Exactly, right? And it's like all of a sudden, like a woman just walks by, like, woke. A woman shows up in a commercial, like, for Mr. Clean, woke. And I'm like, no, guys, that's not what that means. But
I mean, I
understand. Yeah.
It does get pretty bad. Like if a character is in a wheelchair, they're like, woke. I'm like, or when Haley from Spider-Man 2 is using ASL, they're like, woke. I'm like, ASL isn't woke. It's a language. It's a...
Yeah. Now you can make arguments all day long about this, that, and the other, whatever. And there are instances of it. But however, I think at the end of the day, what I'm going to say is that I think that Rockstar is going to keep down the middle, and I think they're going to make fun of everybody. I think they're going to make fun of when it comes to American politics specifically, they're going to make fun of the left. They're going to make fun of the right. They're going to make fun of whatever. They're going to make fun of all different groups of people, whatever. But they always know where to draw the line. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't go too far, but they go far enough that it's funny so that everybody can get a good laugh about it. And I think that at the end of the day, when a lot of people take this stuff way too seriously, I think that everybody could just use a laugh and just say, you know what? That's pretty funny or whatever. Like, if people who take it too seriously, those... Well, I almost swore like what's his face there, like David Jaffe. Yeah, I almost Jaffe'd the show.
Yeah.
Those people aren't playing the game anyway. Do you think these like pink-haired activists are going to sit there and play Grand Theft Auto 6? No. They're going to be. It's not happening. It's not happening.
That's been a thing for 20 years. Like, isn't that how long this franchise has been out? Like, you had Tipper Gore.
No, longer than that.
Yeah, you had
longer than that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been in the mainstream for 20 years since Grand Theft Auto 3 in 01 or whatever it was. So, yeah, it's been longer than 20 years. You're right.
I played 1 and 2.
That aren't going to play the game. Yeah.
They're not going to play the game. It's like the activists who are crying about Hogwarts. Do you think any of them picked up a controller? Or probably not. Like, most of them don't. They just like to talk about it. So the thing is, I think that a lot of people that will play the game will be totally fine just to play the game, have a few laughs, even at your own expense. Do so. Enjoy yourself. People make fun of Italians all the time. Do I sit there and go protest in the streets with flags? You know what I mean? When Eastside Mario, do you guys got Eastside Marios down in the States?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Okay, Eastside Marios is like a faux. Any Canadians in the chat, you guys know what Eastside Marios is, right? The Eastside Marios is a chain of restaurants up here, and it's mimicking the Italian American, specifically New York. Kind of like food, you know what I'm saying? Like if you were to go to an Italian restaurant in New York.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And the guy comes, those guys will be like, hey, you want a veal sandwich? What's going on over there? Hey, that kind of stuff.
You want a veal sandwich and slap across the face?
Yeah. It's like, this veal sandwich is the side of your freaking head, okay? You're going to get 2 of these veal sandwiches, you're going to die, all right? Like that kind of place. Anyways, the tagline for the restaurant, and it's on the radio, it's on the TV, whatever. It's, hey, bada boom, bada bing. Okay, I swear to God. Now, it's kind of funny. Now, to me, it's hilarious.
Is that considered offensive by some groups?
You know what?
Bada boom, bada bing, come on down and get a veal sandwich.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? But the thing is, we take it in stride. We're like, okay, that's hilarious.
Yeah, sure.
If you watch The Sopranos, the strip club in The Sopranos, the name was called the Bada Bing. I have a neon sign at my bar. I'll take a picture of it later. I have a neon sign of a naked woman that says Bada Bing. And it's right across my basement bar, right? So I got, you know what I mean? Like, you just take that stuff in stride and you have a laugh.
Okay. I mean,
what I'm getting at is that Grand Theft Auto 6 will be the same thing. It's going to crack jokes at like different people, different groups, different religions. It did that last game. It's going to do the same with political.
I think it's cool because I sort of think of Rockstar as this developer in London, and they just kind of look down on the excess of America and lampoon it, a word that people don't often use, but it just means to kind of parody, make satire, and make light of, like, ammunition is where in America you just buy all the guns and grenades you need, right? And it's a joke, and it serves for the fun of the game. And I want to talk about some of the pieces of the fun of Grand Theft Auto 6 that I'm so shocked that we got a 1.5 minute trailer, and instead of just getting some overshot views of and establishing location like we did with Grand Theft Auto 5, and you see Michael the last second, we actually got a smorgasbord. We got the full spread of what this game is probably going to offer us. So a couple of things that I picked out from this were the lowrider scene. So this game obviously takes place in modern times. We'll get into that in a minute as well to kind of lampoon that modern stuff. But you got this lowrider scene. You've got clubs, like nightclubs and dance clubs. You've got gangs. There are definitely gangs that you can run across in the game. And then there's that social media. Like they really leaned into it on this trailer with the TikToks or the Instagram reels or whatever it was, like the live stream in portrait mode of people live streaming the ridiculous stuff that's happening. And half of the trailer, wasn't it? Half of the trailer seemed to be excerpts of someone's social media post.
Yeah, and I did like that, and I have a distinct feeling, speaking of social media posts, I think that all social medias are going to be attached to the game. In one way or another, I think they're going to have avenues where, especially GTA Online, which obviously I would imagine they're going to completely relaunch for this game. They're not going to shut down what you have, but I have a feeling they're just going to maybe
Do you think they're going to keep the 10-year-old online running and then have this whole...
Well, see, the thing is people spend a lot of money on that, so you wouldn't want to shut it down because I think they'll just keep it open, but I think it'll offer you a portal that you'll be able to go to the new GTA Online, right? So you'll be able to go to the Vice City section, I would imagine, something like that, and you keep the other one, because people paid like hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars in shark cards and all kinds of stuff. So I could see them just having a portal for those people, or for someone like me who played GTA Online for like 30 minutes, and I'm like, this is not for me, fine. But if I want to try the new one and I buy the new game, it'll just be right there and I could just go into it and whatever, right? So I think it'll give you options. That's my guess. It'll give you options, kind of like you see how Call of Duty runs now. You go to the Call of Duty main screen, you can access the different games and you can access the different modes right there. It's like you got Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and you just click on them. And as long as you own them, it's basically just an interface like that Call of Duty headquarters, they call it now, right? Which is something, by the way, I predicted 3 years ago. I just like to point out. I said it's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to create a Destiny-style Call of Duty world, and then you're just going to go to different portals, and you'll be able to play the different experiences. That's 100%. Oh, dude, that's 100% what Xbox is doing moving forward. I said that back in 2020. I said that's exactly what they're going to do. But I didn't know Xbox was going to own them at that point. But I'm just saying they were going to do that to the game. Point is, I think that social media is going to be a deep part of this game where a lot of you're going to be able to post not just clips and everything else. I think even like little gameplay sections, you're going to be able to post in game. It's actually going to go to real social media posts. I think
would be really cool to do a game clip and it actually exports it out in portrait mode, ready to go to Reels or TikTok. Like,
100%. Because how better to advertise than to put all your stuff on TikTok, right? And you got Tencent and the Chinese going, what are they doing over there?
Then you got Elon charging like $40,000 a month for PlayStation and Xbox to use PlayStation and Xbox share.
On X?
But everyone else will be like...
Instagram, you could do photo... I bet you could do... there's going to be stuff that's going to be AI implementation for social media, for like Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff is coming. YouTube. And I think it's all going to be integrated into the game, mostly with the online mode.
Hargy wants to know, Mag, will there be photo mode? Will there be photo mode in Grand Theft Auto 6?
Obviously, there's going to be photo mode. What are you saying, Hargeet? What's going on over there? Don't you have a code to drop specifically to my DMs?
Hargy, if you could just email the code for Grand Theft Auto 6 for Mag, we'd appreciate that.
By the way, I'd just like to say Hargeet already has the GTA 6 code. He's dropping in the chat in the next 3 seconds, so everybody be excited. Matthew, this is a braid on my chin, yes. My beard is getting out of control.
It is? For real?
Yeah, he's like, what is that on your face? He said that like an hour.
I did not know you had that much hair on your chin to do that.
Yeah. I just braided it for now. It's
Jeez.
It's just so it's not like rubbing on the microphone like an ASMR video. You know, like when they rub like, like they rub like horsehair brushes on the mic, and like go to sleep. But they're like rubbing like stupid stuff on, or like a sponge.
You know what that would do to me if I was listening to that in bed? I'd be like, I'd be scared. That would scare me.
I'm under your bed. Yeah. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
Hargy dropping that GTA 6 code. Everybody go get it.
You got it. Hargy's been playing Grand Theft Auto 6. He says it's mid. So, yeah.
He's already 13 hours in. Yep.
So some other things we saw was a shot of the Thrillbilly Mud Club. And you had crazy people covered him. So I'm assuming the Thrillbilly Mud Club at least gives you an area of the map where you can go over and you can be involved in motorcycle, ATV, four-wheeler, mud, I don't know, dirt races, and maybe some, I don't know, obstacle courses. Like there's got to be something cool there that you can engage with and kind of check off the list. What did you get from the Thrillbilly Mud Club? What do you think we're doing?
Yeah, I think it's going to be exactly what you said. They're going to have entire circuits. You're going to have races. It's going to be, I think, in its own way, it's going to be an own like a miniature like Forza Horizon game right in there, or maybe like Dirt more specifically Dirt, that kind of thing right in there. Because when it comes to Rockstar, when they put their mini games, they ain't so mini. Those things are like an entire experiences on their own. Do you remember the
up in the northeastern part of the map? There was the hills, all the switchbacks, and you can do the four-wheeler there or the whatever down all those switchbacks. And that was like a whole thing. That was like a whole series you could check off there. So, yeah.
Yeah, I can see like having circuits, races, tournaments, the whole 9 yards. And then they're going to do online tournaments, things like that. People will be playing those. Because like I said, you could sell Dirt for $70, $80 online. You could probably get that in this game right here. You could probably get most of that experience there.
How much truth do you think, Mag, is in this Rockstar trying to say that their game should be $100+ for what they offer? Do you think in 2025 they're going to be say, hey, this thing is going to offer 9 games in one, $120? That's our final offer.
No, even if they did, people will gripe, but people will buy it. But I don't think Rockstar's going to do it. Yeah, I would. It's Grand Theft Auto. I'm not even going to blink. But the thing is, I don't think they will. I think they'll jump it by a couple of bucks. Like I have a feeling like maybe it'll be $5 more expensive. Maybe because like for example, some games up here, which is really strange, Square Enix games up here are $5 more expensive than all the other games. So like for example, let's say like an Xbox game or a PlayStation 5 game are $89.99 up here, right? With exchange rate and all that stuff, plus tax, obviously. Square Enix games are $94. So they're $5 more expensive. So I'm like, but why? But anyways, I could see them leaning towards that, at least Canadian $94.99 per game, whatever. I could totally see that, and whatever, that's fine. I don't care. It's not like I'm not gonna buy it. You know what I mean? It's a day one.
I have a couple of what if questions that we're going to be talking about today, and for people on mobile, I've seen this on mine on Android version of YouTube mobile, I guess. When people put polls up, sometimes it just shows up as white, like you can barely tell that there's a poll there. So if you can't see the poll, and sometimes it gets in the way, like it's just a glitch YouTube has, but I put up a poll, I said, would you buy Grand Theft Auto 6 for $100? And the options are yes, day one, or the other option is no, I'm going to wait for a discount. Like my good friend Fonz from Fonz Gaming, he is like, I don't want to pay $70 for brand new games, so I'm just going to ride it out until they bring that price down to where I've kind of set my expectations. But now you guys are half and half already. $100 is a lot to ask. Sean Labrie says, I hate to admit it, I would absolutely pay $100 for GTA 6. I would be pissed while doing it, but I'd do it.
So your poll says right now you have 86 votes, and it's 53% are saying yes, day one, and 47% are liars. Because you're going to buy it day one. The FOMO is going to eat your face off. You will not be able to deny yourself. By the way, Joey D1000 from Australia. You love us. We love you too. The United States and Canada. We say hi to you too, brother. And thank you for listening. And
I really feel like the Australians are just like us. They just talk different and weird.
We love them.
I mean, we love them. We love them. I love the Xbox Ultimate Podcast. Jedi Knight Peter, Risk It, one of your best true good friends. And they've got a great group of
scumbag. The thing is, when I go to when I go to the UK, they're like, oh yeah, I'm not going to bother doing it, but they're like, oh, they say I have a funny accent too, right? I mean, it's all relative to where you are.
So I'm like hot fudge sundaes.
Yeah, you like hot fudge sundaes, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't realize that would be so loud over you trying to talk. All right.
Yeah, hey man, whatever. It's all good. It's all
right.
good.
Give me that. Give me
Hot
that.
Fudge Sundays, that's where it's at. Dead Planet, let me tell you something. He's not wrong. He's like, God, I'm glad I don't live in Canada. You guys gotta understand that with the exchange, it's actually exactly the same. So like $100 up here is like $75 for you guys down there, all right, or $70, somewhere in that range actually. There. So the funny thing is, though, I have noticed that first of all, I've been in the U.S. 3 times in the last month, right? So I keep going down there for different reasons, and I'm actually finding that your prices are starting to match our prices, but your dollar is worth way more. So I'm like, I'm getting ripped off. So so about like $100 Canadian is like 75 American. So at the same time, if you got like a $94 game per se, it's still a $70 game for you guys. You see what I'm getting at? So like it's still
it all goes out in the wash. Yeah,
it's all the same, and it's all relative to the dollar, right? And the thing is, up here we get, well, generally speaking, I would say for the most part, a lot of us get paid a lot more than what you guys paid, but we get taxed more because of the healthcare. But anyway, it's the whole thing. But either way, it's basically relative. I just wanted to say that. I'm going to get a beer. I'll be right back. Keep talking, Colteastwood.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, well, I'll have this looping here. The next thing I want to talk about, let me grab some supers while Mag's out, and I want to talk about the Game Awards. This is actually pretty funny. We are at Diego Padreo. Welcome to the Early Access channel member. When you become a channel member, you get this Series X icon. You get a color on your name, so you stand out in the chat. You get early access to videos. Every time I make a video in the evening, I put it on the community tab where you'll get a notification saying, hey, you can watch my video. It's going to be out tomorrow, but here it is. And yeah, there it is. Maxie Coleman, thank you so much for the AR-50. Says, I'm a simple man. Can I be happy that we have a hot female protagonist again in video games?
Hell yes. Hell yes. Hell yes. No frumpy outfits, no square jaws, just a good-looking woman as in a game.
Why do you got to bring up MJ? Why do you have to bring up MJ like that?
Why? She looks like a UFC fighter, except a dude. Let me tell you something. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, and then I want to give my opinion because this has to be said. Go ahead.
The second half of this show is brought to you by Sleeman, well-made Canadian beer right out of Guelph, Ontario. Everybody,
and chocolatey
Sleeman.
Ovaltine.
And chocolatey Ovaltine. And also, the second half of the show is brought to you by frozen lasagnas made by McCain.
Chocolate lasagna? It's my favorite.
Give me
there
that.
You go. Crack the beer, freshy. Let's get going. We're celebrating because Grand Theft Auto dropped the trailer.
I just
good-looking women.
I gotta say, like, it's okay to have like a big action adventure game and have the male character or the female character look handsome or beautiful. Like, it's okay. And you know what? If they show a little shoulder, it's okay. Like, I don't know. It's like there's I was playing. I can't say. I was playing a game, and one of the female superhero characters was like very manly looking. It's kind of hard to explain, and it's okay. That's a design choice, but I don't know. Yes, it's okay to have your characters look fantastic or fantastic.
You know what the thing is? Yes, you're right, Colt. And you know what it is at the end of the day? It's that's part of that whole thing, you know, what we were talking about earlier about the identity politics and all that kind of stuff. I'm not gonna go down that road again. However, there is something out there. If you notice that there's a lot, like, you don't see, you know, scantily clad women at the racing events, you know, holding up the signs and all that stuff. They're all gone, all that kind of stuff. And what they're saying is, it's unrealistic expectations. We get it. We know they're not realistic. We know that not everybody looks like an Instagram model. We get it. But it's there for aesthetic reasons, for people who like to see that stuff for one reason or another. The term that I like to coin is called attractophobia. And it's people who are afraid of good-looking people, men and women.
Is that a real
and whatever
thing?
Else. Attractophobia. It's I got to give that to you know, to somebody else who coined the phrase. But either way, the point is, it's real and it's out there. And you look at some of these characters and you're like, what are you? And someone mentioned something about rugged women. Said, oh, what about rugged women? I love rugged women. My wife is one of those. She'll beat the crap out of me without question.
She does.
She's Irish.
Too.
Oh, she does. She's Irish Scottish. She'll beat the crap out of me. No problem. So
does she do the old stand on the headboard and just elbow drop you at 1 a.m?
Yeah, she's like, I'm the cream of the crop. Yeah. And Mag, let me tell you something. Yeah.
She's standing over you 1 a.m. Hey, brother.
Yeah. I'm the cream of the crop in this house. Yeah. And I'm going to get you, Mag. Don't worry. I'm like, honey, why are you talking like that? And then all of a sudden, the elbow off the top of the dresser. Anyways, listen, my wife's rugged. She'll beat the crap out of people. But
when I start snoring, I wake up and she's got me in a headlock. She's just like...
Oh, Steve. Sorry. The doctor. I said his real name, Steve. The doctor said she can't beat me up. Dude, she 100% could beat you up.
No, he means legally.
No, I'm not married. I'm not married to Abby Magnum Westward with those arms. Oh, my God. Can you imagine getting a back massage with those arms?
Ow!
Yeah.
Boner Jams with a $5 super chat. I was just checking out their show on Wednesday, Under the Bus. They talk about music. He said, I heard there will be a photo mode at the Gentleman's Club in Grand Theft Auto 6. Evening, Megalodon and Colt Hardwood. What games are you pumped for in 2024?
Well, we don't know.
Pick one. Pick one in 2024 that you can't wait for. I'll try and think of one.
You know, the problem is we don't have release dates for most of the stuff coming out in 2024, so we don't even know if they're coming in 2024. So, like, we could say things like Senua's Saga.
Yeah.
But do we know that? No. So
I'm not super excited like other people are, but
I'm going to play it. I am excited for, and you know who got me really excited for it, of all people, is Jez. Jez Corden, of course. We all know who Jez is. He's the good half of the Xbox 2, not like that pirate scumbag who's been hacking the algorithm. I can tell you right now, Rand has been hacking the algorithm, and that's why when you see people's Spotify lists of the top 5, it's always him and Jez, number 1, and then us, number 2. And then, of course, by the way, I'm super happy that Xbox Unlocked is like 4th place underneath us.
Man!
Anyways.
No, that was one guy. That was one guy's rap for Spotify, but no, we do appreciate people.
That was worldwide. That was worldwide, not one guy.
Thank you so much for making us number 2, right behind.
Number 2 in the world. Number 2 in the world. Anyways, I'm just kidding. Rand, love you guys.
Number 2, right behind Xbox 2 podcast that uses South Korean bot farm. Yeah,
exactly. Thank you. Exactly. Actually, North Korean bot farm. Yeah, because Kim
even
Jong-un
worse
is clearly involved with Rand Althor. That's obviously what's going on.
They use the North Korean one because it's free. So.
Of course. Now here's the thing. Jez was talking about the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and he's like, "This game is. I'm super excited for this game. I can't wait to play it. Blah blah blah." And I'm like, you know what? I never actually gave it much thought. So I started watching it. I started looking into it, and I'm like, going, "Holy crap! This game is going to be hot." And I'm like, this game looks really good. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have to finish this, which I'm furiously trying to finish and enjoy myself, by the way. I'm trying to enjoy and finish my backlog so that by the time February comes around, I should be, walking into this game fresh and just be able to play it, like maybe by March or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. Again, we don't have any release dates for the Xbox titles because we just don't know. We also don't have any release dates for the PlayStation titles. I'm basically doing this, and I'm not making a joke. We really don't know.
We don't know. There's first party. PlayStation has said they've got 5 first party games coming out that are published or their IPs for 2024 that they've actually announced, and Xbox has like 6. I put up a graphic on socials, but as far as them saying, in 2024, I guess mine would be Avowed. I really hope it captures the magic that they've put out in their last couple of games, but I'm still kind of iffy. Obsidian, I would say a thing like Obsidian never misses, and they usually haven't over the past 15 years, but then I said that about Arcane, and Redfall exists, so mistakes are made sometimes. One more super.
It happened.
Purple Haze, 4564, thank you for the $5 super. Says, yo team, what the heck is with this GTA 6 trailer? Is that what we're doing right now? We're releasing trailers a year out, or actually 18 to 24 months.
No, that's normal. I mean, if you follow anything by Rockstar, they release generally it's 2 years, believe it or not, because I think GTA 5 was 2 years. Before, from the original teaser trailer to the actual release of the game. Red Dead Redemption 2, you remember they released the picture of the sunset, and you could see the cowboys lined up in the sunset? That was 2 years before the game came out, and then a trailer came out shortly after. And it was about, I would say closer to about 18 months between the first trailer and the release of the game. So this is standard fare for Rockstar, so it doesn't really bother me. Jason B said something interesting. Dragon's Dogma 2 looks good. It does look good.
Yeah.
That's one I totally forgot about. Yeah, that game looks amazing. I'm super excited for that. But yes, as for Rockstar, this is par for the course for them.
Yeah, and the weird thing about Rockstar is what we saw today looks ready to go. So they must get things like really ready, and then they just go on super polish up to release. But yeah, 18 months.
Yes, they do.
Now, I'm going to predict that when they say 2025, that they're really hoping they can meet like spring or before summer 2025, and it'll get that 6-month delay that Rockstar's games always got over the past 15 years. So it'll probably hit holiday 2025, hopefully not further. But
if you remember GTA 5, it was supposed to launch in May or June, and then like 2 weeks before, they delayed it all the way to September. You remember that?
Yeah.
And then the game ended up launching September 17th. So there you go.
And every time I'm like, Max Payne 3, Grand Theft Auto 5, Red Dead 1, Red Dead 2, all those games were always, even Grand Theft Auto 4, when they're there, they're there. And I'm just looking at these pictures. Look at these pictures here of Grand Theft Auto 6, and oh my gosh, it's going to be so great. Let's take a massive shift in gears as I talk about how do I turn this thing on right here? Okay. This thing, I have to start this thing over because this is in the background. So what I did here, and Mag will kind of see it delayed as he watches on the feed, but this is Jeff Keighley's Game Awards trailer, and I painstakingly put in PlayStation without the sound of all of the representation of PlayStation in this 2-minute, 43-second trailer. Now, we're going to talk about this for a minute, Mag, because Starfield has a whopping 1.5 seconds in this 2-minute, 43-second trailer. And I say that laughing because it only got nominated for one thing in all of the nominations. So 1.5 seconds seems about right for representation, but PlayStation only had Spider-Man 2 and then quasi Final Fantasy 16 that they didn't make and they didn't publish. So the representation of Spider-Man is in here several times, but it also has a few different nominations. Do you remember how many nominations Spider-Man 2 got? How many categories? I'm thinking like 4.
What? I thought it was either 4 or 5. Those are the two that come to mind.
It's action game or action adventure. Yeah. I think it's action adventure.
Game of the year.
Game of the year. I think it got 2 for the actors, for Yuri Orenthal, and there's a Starfield right now, and maybe Venom. I can't remember, but yeah, I think they got 4, maybe 5 nominations, but they're in there quite a bit. But looking at this trailer, Jeff Keighley did an amazing job timing it and editing it together, and having all these voice lines. Have you watched this, Meg?
Yeah. I'm rewatching it now while we're speaking. So. Yes, just to get a refresher on it. But yeah, you know what? He's doing a great job of promoting the product. You got to give him that. Mm-hmm. Anything else going on around it? Listen, he's not going to please everybody with everything. And but I mean, I'm still not happy about the Hogwarts thing. I don't care about Starfield and whatever else. And I'm like, okay, that's neither here nor there. The Hogwarts thing is still something that totally upsets me. But getting past that. He's doing a great job of hyping up this show. He's got great people around him that are, you know what I mean? That the hype machine is moving. This is a tough sell this week, though, considering that Grand Theft Auto literally just sucked all the air out of the room.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what is it? Monday. So imagine if that trailer actually launched on the Tuesday. It would have just kind of completely overtaken every conversation for the entire week. As people and podcasts all over the world are literally going to sit there and speculate for 2 hours at a time for the entire week about what's going to be GTA 6, what GTA 6 all about, what's this going to have, what's it, you know what I mean? And all the stuff that you and I talked about. So by doing so, that removed a lot of the thunder. However, the stuff that he is working on here is great. I think that the timing is really bad, though. I think that was kind of almost a little bit unfair. You know what I mean?
Having the Grand Theft. Oh yeah. I mean, it was.
They they could have launched the trailer a month ago. It's not like they, you know what I mean? I don't know, just me. Like
I
let Jeff have his
Rockstar
moment.
was trying to. Maybe Rockstar's like, hey, let's get in on the week of the Game Awards where everyone's all like funneled in and ready. But I kind of feel bad for Jeff Keighley. Like he wishes he could make that on his stage.
Yeah, like you're priming the audience. I get it because like it's basically, and that was the other thing. Like when I made my video tonight, it was basically like awakening the gaming community, right? Because everybody's been kind of in a slumber. I mean, people are at home playing the games, all the great games that came out this fall. So everybody's kind of. But in terms of news, it's been awfully quiet, right? So as a result, people are busy playing their games as opposed to talking about games. But Grand Theft Auto kind of reignited that, right? And it kind of woke everybody up. And like I said in my video, I'm just sitting there playing one of my arcade cabinets. And I kind of turned my head like a dog, like, what was that? You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden we woke up and here we are. So, yeah, but at the same time, like I said, it awoke in the game community. So get people hyped like a games week for the year. You've got the Grand Theft Auto trailer. And then, of course, you got the Game Awards following on Thursday. Maybe the noise will die down by Thursday that Jeff gets the attention that he needs to have the show.
I think
People are still
so.
going to watch it. Yeah, because, gamers are fickle. They will move on to the next thing very quickly to say, all right, what's next?
Two-day shelf life on hot news.
And then what's next? What's next? Right?
Yeah, the Grand Theft Auto being leaked just gave them an extra day of fire, and then they'll have tomorrow and the next day where everyone's talking about Grand Theft Auto 6 like crazy. But the Game Awards, yeah, I mean, they always pull in a lot of viewers, like 100 million viewers or something. I don't know. Somebody quoted the number at one point, but
it's a hell of a lot more than the Academy Awards. And like, yeah, I understand. What's his name? That blue number. Yes, it says TGAs will be just fine. I know it's going to be fine. I'm just saying. He's going to have to work extra hard to get that attention back after what Grand Theft Auto just, basically pulled the whole world into that. You know what I mean? It's going to be the buzz of the town, right?
Yeah. So, and looking at this thing,
he'll be fine.
There is a ton of Spider-Man 2 and actually quite a bit of Jedi Survivor, which got like maybe 3 nominations. I almost feel like maybe Jeff sat down and maybe I would have done this too and said, what has the most representation in the Game Awards for 2023? And I'll kind of try to give it that. Spider-Man got a lot, so I'll give them 5 or 6 segments. I'll make sure I give Jedi Survivor 3 segments. Like Diablo was only in there once. I think Final Fantasy 16 was in there maybe once, maybe twice. It was kind of hard to look because some of the stuff was on there really fast. But let me talk about this Player's Choice thing because this is weird. This is weird. The Player's Choice has been whittled down to these 5 games. I almost laugh when I look at this. It's like, but it's interesting because the Player Choice is everybody, not just the panel that some people don't like the panel. This is everybody's vote. Baldur's Gate 3 makes sense.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk
makes sense.
Cyberpunk just got DLC. Like Cyberpunk had great DLC.
That's stupid. That's the only one that's. I actually have no problem with the Resident Evil 4 remake because it was an entire game.
But it's not in this. It's not. It got booted out.
No, I know. But I'm saying what I'm saying in generalities. I'm just saying, people were bitching about Resident Evil 4 being in like a Game of the Year category, whatever. But it's still a full game.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk is literally just a DLC. That's ridiculous.
Well, I'll tell you why.
By the way, it's 103 million viewers.
Okay, yeah. So
last
I wasn't
year.
too far off.
Huge.
In percentage wise, saying 100 million is pretty good. Hargy's always got the exact number. He's like, let me see, I tattooed it right here. And Spider-Man 2's in there, Tears of the Kingdom, and then Genshin Impact, which makes me sit back and go, huh.
That's a weird one too, because that's an ongoing game. That's been going on for like 5 years.
Yeah, and it's got so many people that it's got the popularity vote. I'm like, are there that many fanboys and fangirls of Genshin Impact that they would just barrage the Game Award? Like, if you play Genshin Impact still, are you really playing Baldur's Gate or Spider-Man or the latest big hot games that are like supposed to win awards? I don't want to sound like that guy. Like, why is Genshin Impact in there? I'm like, why are you doing that? Sorry, Meg. I just want to say, why are you bringing ongoing games into the Player's Choice?
Thank you. It should be for that year. A game that came out that year that should be, you know what I'm saying? That should be a game that's in contention, not a game that's been out for 5 years and it's an ongoing game. I get that. It's an ongoing game. But it's still an ongoing game that's been going on for years, not this specific year.
Yeah.
So you're taking away from people who have released a game this year. You had your chance when you released the game to get, you know what I'm saying? Like to have your Game of the Year award. My keys, what's up? So he was in the chat. He just said, sorry, he had a lot of exclamation marks saying hello to you and I. So I like this
thank
name.
you.
Yeah. So yeah, you're exactly right. Like, it's like, this is an ongoing game. And the thing is, the other one that didn't make any sense, ongoing, how the hell is what's it called there? Cyberpunk an ongoing game just because it released the DLC.
Yeah.
So, like, can we, like, Genshin Impact is that. Cyberpunk is not that.
I don't know.
Game of the Year is not Genshin. I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Halo Infinite won Player's Choice Award 2 years ago, and I just can't believe that Genshin Impact was there with a popularity vote to kick out something that deserved it. Like Alan Wake should be in there, right? Everyone's talking about how great that is. And who was it here in the chat? I know I shifted gears on screen, but Jesse Spud says, where's Mario in this trailer? Like Mario had like a second and a half of screen time, and whatever. It's fine. It's fine. It's Player's Choice. I don't really care.
It's whatever.
The Game of the Year has never been my favorite, except for when It Takes Two won. Like I just don't. Those don't end up being my favorite Game of the Year. What I've got on screen here, which I'll talk about in a little bit, but this is Halo Infinite Firefight King of the Hill. You can see the colored band around in a circle where you have to hold that ground and not let too many enemies come in, or they start capturing it, a la like early Battlefront games. And this is 4-player co-op Firefight. I got to play this with 343 developers, and I can hear Loki. He wants to come in here. If anybody wants to bring him in, that's fine. He can come in here. He's been doing that lately. He wants to come in here and hang out while I'm working or playing. Halo Infinite Firefight, 4-player co-op, and then you have the circle, and then at a certain point, once it's all captured, it moves to a different part of the map, and it can like intersect a building. You got to kind of hold that area, and it just gets increasing enemies, and you have weapon drops, and really fun. Played it with the 343 devs and some other content creators, and only played it once, like for a whole hour, and then I didn't have access to it much after that. But you'll see this game play on screen while we talk about other news. But I just wanted to kind of give a shout out to 343 and Xbox for giving me that opportunity. So yeah, and it comes out Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Everybody will be able to have the update and play this. And friends out there in the chat, let's party up and play this week. It's going to be a good time. So,
can I ask a question about Halo?
Of course.
I know that it seems to be on an upswing lately. Are numbers back up? That's what I want to know. Are numbers coming back in? Are people engaging?
Oh, Halo is doing really, really well. I don't follow I don't follow the engagement numbers. I just hear people saying that there's a lot of people playing it, and it's the general talk on the internet is that Halo Infinite is doing really well, and people are really happy with where it is. Crazy.
I know they're happy with it. I know they're happy with it. People that are saying that the game is fantastic now, and this and that, blah blah blah, like the online or whatever, right? But I wanted to know if engagement was up. Like, is it actually making a dent? Risk it. I see you there, buddy. How you doing? Yeah, I just wanted to know if it's actually making a dent now. Like people coming back to it. Like, look at what just happened with like Fortnite. Holy crap! 44 million people over what was it, in like 2 days came back to Fortnite. I'm like, yo, Epic just must be like Scrooge McDuck. You know when he dives off that diving board into the big pile of money?
They dropped the Peter Griffin character. And you have the cel-shaded Peter Griffin, and when he gets downed in the match, he goes and holds his knee like the cartoon. So I'm probably going to buy that. I haven't been playing Fortnite in a couple months, but you cannot tell me that Fortnite is not a great game. If now says, Colt, you jumping in back with us for Firefight, bro? Absolutely. This weekend we're all going to play. I can't wait to say what the shunk with my boy Red Wolf and play with that blue number, Infinite, Risk It, Peter, everybody. It's going to be a good time.
He says, Mag, numbers are back up, mate, and it's good again, but very sweaty. Yeah, I could see that, because if you're getting a lot of the hardcore back in, right? So I could totally see that. Yeah.
It's crazy, and Halo Infinite should not have afforded this opportunity for them to lose their numbers and have to fight for them back. And I would have rather see this game launch in 2022 after Redfall's debacle and wait, 2022 it was 2022 when there was nothing out. That's what they should have done. And that's that problem where I've complained that publishers and developers publishers and platforms need to stop saying, hey, we need to get our money, get the game out now, because Halo Infinite would have been a better game in 2022. And I think there would have been far less complaints, because you can certainly forgive a delay, as the saying goes. I love it. Let me see where we're at. We got Web Dave with the $2 super chat. Shout out to Web Dave. I'm going to hook up with him here in a couple of weeks, or this Sunday. Yeah, this Sunday. Yeah. Crazy.
Like on a date?
Yeah, we're gonna go out and get we're gonna share a pomegranate. Yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
Or what are you gonna have for dessert?
You like hot fudge sundaes? All right.
Oh,
You like hot fudge sundaes? You like hot fudge sundae? You like hot fudge sundaes?
Yeah, what's up, Web Dave? Are you doing a show? Because I was on the show with him last week or the week before. I did a show with him. It was a lot of fun. I only did half the show because I can't do the whole show, but
Yeah, he's a good dude. What kills me about that lasagna guy, the chef, is that Kenny G music. The background just nails that 1990 like
achievement unlocked.
Yep.
Loki, you want 90s porn? You want 90s porn music? Achievement unlocked. Anyways,
yeah, you like the lasagna? There we go. There's Loki. Yeah, my dog's been doing this thing where he barks to get in here. He walks around. He's like, well, there's no food in here, and then he pauses the door. He's like, I want out. So
he's looking around very judgingly.
Yeah, he is.
He's like, ugh. He's like
Xbox.
Look at him. Like, he's looking around. He's just going, ugh. Look at this guy's setup. Like,
this is cringe, bro.
This is cringe. What a cringe PC setup. What a schlep this guy is. He's like, I'm out of here.
I got Loki around the time right before Forza Horizon 4 came out. That's how old Loki is. And I was like, I don't know if I want a dog, And then once we got him, I'm like, my friend. So
Gizmo is like, those cats live for like 25 years. So like, he's gonna be around. I'm gonna be a crotchety old bugger. But mind you, so is he. So it's gonna be pretty funny watching the two of us get old together. And then Luna is much younger. She's just a baby.
Yeah, you gotta take the moments while you got them with those animals.
You see what happens? Look at Yodani Kazana already. Loki is a pony.
Oh, Loki's a pony. Yeah. He'll knock the Xbox controller out of my hand and try to put the DualSense 5 in there.
Even the animals get judged, these days. Mm-hmm. I play one game on PlayStation. Mag, you pony. Her. I'm like, oh my God.
Web Dave says, Colton Mag, what big surprise do you want at the VGAs? Let's get into the VGA surprise, because Shinobi, who is he doesn't want to be called an insider, but he talks to people. People talk to people. That's all we'll say. He says that there's something that Xbox fans are going to be really excited about. There's a couple of different things I want to talk about. Let me read the rest of these. There's a couple here. Purple Haze with the $5 says, I think Rocksteady Studios should have made a Justice League game, not a Suicide game. I think this game might be the first flop, hint, alpha. I can't speak on it, Meg, because I played the alpha. Let me just say this. Because I was listening to Gaz, he's like, I played the alpha, so I'm under NDA, I can't talk about it, but let me use lots of generalizations for 8 minutes. And I'm like, Gaz, stop! Sometimes you play an alpha, and you play one session, and you go, I don't think I want to, I'm done. I don't think I want to play that. Sometimes, let me just say, sometimes that happens. And we'll just wait to hear more. Literal Table 756, thank you so much for the Canadian $7. Says, instead of watching TJ's live, I'll watch IGN's reveal recap the following morning. No, you will not. You will not give IGN a click. What you'll do is you'll watch my recap the following morning.
There you go.
Then it won't be loaded full of PlayStation's amazing and Xbox sucks. I'm just kidding. I don't know if I'll make a video on that, but I think there's some really great channels you could watch if you don't want to watch the one with 16 million subscribers. Is that being rude? I'll just say that.
No. Nothing wrong with it.
Hargy Johnny with the $2. Thank you, Hargy. He says, I can't seem to vote for Tears of the Kingdom in player's voice. I mean, it's there. It's funny. I voted for Cyberpunk when I looked at that list. I'm like, you and I both feel the same about Spider-Man 2. It's a great game, but
it's a great, mechanically great game. Everything around it ruined the experience for me. But the game itself is mechanically very sound.
Yeah, and it looks really nice.
It looks nice. It plays well. It's excellent. You know, and I love the characters.
Really
both characters. Yeah, I
really
both
like
characters.
What you done with your hair.
Miles and Peter, wonderful.
Have you tried the lasagna?
You know, but like favorite. The rest, the everything around it was just didn't make me look forward to Spider-Man 3, and not for the reasons some people might think. I'm not going to spoil the ending. It's just I'm just saying if they continue on in that road, I'm just like, no thanks. No thank you.
Yeah, thank goodness Wolverine is coming out. Will be kind of a shift in direction and tone.
Hopefully, yeah. Let's hope.
Yeah.
Let's see where that goes. But I mean, it's hard to mess around with Wolverine. I mean, it'd be so bloody obvious doing so. Like Spider-Man's a little bit on the fence, but like Wolverine is Wolverine. It's hardcore or it's nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? I know they're going to make fun of it in like Deadpool 3, and I already know a lot of what's going on in the film, which of course I will not speak about because Hollywood, I have more insiders in Hollywood than I do in the gaming industry. So I know everything that's going on there. The story is going to be really funny and whatever. So you're going to be cracking jokes, but the game is not going to be Deadpool 3 version of Wolverine, right? So it's not going to be that at all. So yeah, like they're going to have to keep it serious. Anyways, carry on.
Yeah. It's funny that they kind of stopped talking about Spider-Man about the same time they stopped talking about Starfield. Maybe they're still talking about Starfield in the wrong way, but crickets. Risk it for the biscuit with the $8 Australian super chat. Thank you, Risk it.
That's like 30 cents. Yeah.
30 cents in a wallaby. He says, Colt, would Halo be what it is without the drama and management changes? But if it had dropped with Forge, it would have been 100% a different story. He kind of, I don't know if he sent that while I was talking about that or just before.
I think so. Yeah, it came in when you were talking about it. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were really mad at me and my co-host at the time, Gaz, because we were like, just delay it. Just, who cares? Put it out a year later. It's not worth it. And people are like, you just want it to get a good Metacritic. I'm like, no, I just want Xbox to put out a good, well fleshed out game. And then they had to like pretend they weren't firing Bonnie Ross, which is a very difficult thing to talk about when it's a real human being at stake, right? And now there's Firefight. Like, I mean, they even should have had Firefight at launch. And we're seeing this drip feed of content on Forza Motorsport and Halo. Yeah, it would have been much different story if they Loki wants out if they had just released the game fully fleshed out. It's so important. Right. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the what to expect at the Game Awards. Sarah Bond tweeted out a Xbox 360 logo, and I don't know if she really teases things, but I think it's a very real reality. Meg, what do you think the 360 logo has to do with the Game Awards and the Game Pass tweet? Like, do you follow that?
Yeah, I have. I know exactly what's going on. I'm just wondering, and I'm going to tie this into what Web Dave actually asked earlier about what surprise I want to see, or what surprise I would be happy to see, or whatever. I think that a Gears of War collection remade or whatever, or whatever with the Unreal Engine 5, that on Game Pass would be absolutely killer. I'm not saying it would drop that day, but like somewhere soon-ish.
Or announced.
Or announced or something. I think that would be pretty big. There are rumors out there that Gear 6 may not actually be shown at all.
That's what I'm starting to hear too.
I'm hearing that. I've been hearing that from more than one source saying that actually Gear 6. Maybe these guys are wrong because there's a lot of misdirection that goes on behind the scenes in order to throw people off the trail, so to speak, right? But I've heard it from some pretty reputable people that Gear 6 will not be making a Game Awards appearance, and it'll be doing so in the summer at an Xbox game showcase in June, or you know what I mean, like the faux E3 as we're calling it, right?
See, you can call it E3 on this show, Mag. You have full
I guess we can call
rights.
It E3. Yeah, because everybody knows what E3
Brisket
means.
says, Mag, 100% stop stealing my ideas, though. He agrees with
what?
you. He agrees with you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think that a Gears Collection announcement at this thing would be great. As for what they're saying, I think Tom Warren was talking about. He's like, Xbox Game Pass subscribers pay attention to the Game Awards. Obviously, something's going to shadow drop that day. I think during the awards. I don't know what it's going to be, but I can't imagine it being anything monstrous outside of the very outside possibility of Baldur's Gate 3, which you and I discussed, I think, last week or the week before, which I can't see. I still can't see happening. But maybe Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 wasn't that teased back in August?
It's sounding pretty plausible right now, Mag, and a lot of people are kind of getting on board. Rand Althor and Jez were talking. I talked to Rand behind the scenes a lot about this, and he says, "Hey, maybe Xbox said." Here's what we project for you to sell when you launch on Xbox Series S and X. How about we just offer you this much? You can sell a little bit on the console and the rest will be on Game Pass. But here's a lump sum. And Larian Studios is like thinking, hey, that sounds good. Let's do it. It could be a big deal.
If they win Game of the Year, they're going to make sales. I know this is going to contradict what we talked about last week, saying that they won't do that because they're in the driver's seat. Right? Not Microsoft. They're in the driver's seat saying, our game's going to win Game of the Year. Pretty much guaranteed at this point. Right? Yeah. And so they've got the leverage, not Microsoft. They're not in a position where like, oh my God, our game is failing. Let's hope Microsoft comes in and gives us a lump sum and we'll throw it on Game Pass so we don't have to worry about it. Right?
Yeah.
This is not the case. They did well on PC. They did well on PlayStation. And I'm sure they'll do well on Xbox. I know it's a niche game. It's not for everybody in terms of the mechanics. Right? Not everybody's a turn-based player. I'm not. But the thing is, if you threw it on Game Pass, this is where I'm going to backtrack from what I said last week. I'm going to open the door to the possibility that if they did do that, I would give it a shot. Because, Mooch said it. Shout out to Mooch, where he was talking about it the other day, and he was saying, this might be the first time in forever. First time in forever. Sorry, watching a little too much Frozen.
That's impossible.
I know it's impossible. Great movie. Do you want to build a snowman after?
Hardy says, did he's asking? I'm going to say he's asking you. Did Baldur's Gate 3 do well on PlayStation?
I don't think it did poorly. I don't think it did great, but it must have done okay. I think we would have heard otherwise. Someone look that up. Someone look up to see if they got sales for that.
I doubt there's anything, but I'm assuming it didn't do amazing or didn't do.
Maybe it didn't do amazing.
Maybe it didn't do well. And maybe it won't do well on Xbox, and they know it. And a lump sum is really attractive. I just think it could be a reality for an announcement. Because
That's true too.
Today, Xbox told Game Pass subscribers to watch the Game Awards, and I'm like, yes. There's two possibilities for what they could be dropping as I drop Loki down. What they could be dropping for this announcement, it could be a major ABK suite of back and pack games. Maybe they've been working on that throughout the year. Like
maybe Modern Warfare 3. Is that in the cards, or is it because does PlayStation still have the marketing rights? And
that might not be in cards. Chat, help us out with that one. Can they drop the month-old Modern Warfare 3 into Game Pass, or do they have to circumvent PlayStation? But there are like 15 or a dozen Call of Duty games that could just drop into Game Pass. Now, you probably own all of them,
except for Vanguard. Gotham guy, yes. He just said, what did Mooch say, Mag? Yes, I didn't actually finish that sentence. Mooch said this may be the first. Sorry, I started singing Frozen. That's why. He said this may be the first time in forever.
We never got to it. And I'm going to keep you from getting to it. Yeah, what did
Can you imagine? Say? He said this may be the first time in forever that I haven't played a game of the year.
Oh, okay. Hold on, I was totally on a different train of thought while you were talking about that. This will be the first this year. What if he's saying Baldur's Gate or?
Yes, if Baldur's Gate wins, he'd say it may be one of the first times in ever that he hasn't played a game of the year winner. Right? Because all the other games are pretty mainstream.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, except for Elden Ring. But Elden Ring, even though it was a quote-unquote Souls game, it was still an open world. Excuse me. It was an open world game, good, enough that you were able. It was still accessible, right? Even though you walked up to a dude and the dude just swung his thing and just killed you instantly, but all right, I'm coming back for you, jerk. In like 7 hours, I'll be back for you. And then you go do all these lower level areas and you build up and you go back. Whereas, when you do the Dark Souls games, you're literally doing like a trench run. You know what I mean? And you're doing it over and over and over. And you know what I mean? Where Elden Ring, you were able to explore and build your character and go back. So it was still accessible. So what Mooch was saying is that he's like, this may be one of the first times in forever that I haven't played a game of the year. A possible winner, because it's a very niche kind of game. It's a very PC game, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not super excited about trying it either. Shout out to Jez Corden, who dropped in here and very generously gave out 10 memberships to Talos Ray, Big Mad Mo, Colin Prime, Nino Vosek, Dr. Dinglehut, Joshua Erickson, Dex, and True 77. True 77 is already there, but thank you so much, Jez. Now would be a great time. We're about to talk about Jez's amazing interview with Phil Spencer, which wasn't planned because of what we thought it was. Tim Stewart, the CFO of Microsoft, said, we're going to put our games everywhere, and then there's no reason to own a console ever, in so many words, colloquially. But Jez had this interview lined up, and one of the questions he asked was just so expertly timed, where everyone's like wondering what's going to happen with the console. Before I get into that, I got to ask you this what if, Mag. What would you do if, in the very near future, if Xbox makes the announcement, we're excited and pleased to bring Starfield and the experience of Starfield from Bethesda to the PS5 next holiday?
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I mean, that's not going to change. That's not going to change people that are in the either in the Xbox ecosystem or otherwise. All you're doing is you're opening up the market to somebody else. And what you're doing, in fact, is that you're basically following the PlayStation business model of, let's have the game exclusively on PlayStation for a while and then not release it day and date on PC. Let's wait 6 months, 8 months, a year. Usually it's about a year.
Sure.
Let's wait a year later and then open the market to someone else once you've exhausted the sales in that one area, right? So you've exhausted the sales in the PS5 at that point. By a year's time, if you haven't purchased the game either full price or on the many sales that happen throughout the year, you've got Boxing Day in Canada, you've got Black Friday in the United States and Canada, you've got the spring sale, the summer sale, whatever. And so you've got the game at full price and you got the games on sale. If you haven't purchased it within that year, you were never going to buy it to begin with. Okay, so you've exhausted your sales on the one console. There you are. And then they open up the market to PC at that point and say, okay, so that what they're doing is they're locking the market to get people into the PlayStation ecosystem, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the thing is with Xbox, you're doing the same thing. So you got the Xbox/PC ecosystem. You release a game like Starfield. It's out there. People have played it. If the numbers are dwindling and the engagement is down, that means people are basically done with it and moving on. At that point, why not open up, continue to optimize the game and be able to have it out for the other console, for PS5, and release it later on down the line, a year later? Why not? What difference does it make? You're getting it, if you're an Xbox consumer or a PC consumer on Xbox Game Pass, what difference does it make to you if you're experiencing, if you've engaged in it on the Xbox Game Pass? What do you care what happens a year from now or 6 months from now if somebody else gets to play it?
That's what reasonable people would think, but
I know people are insane, Cole. I know people are nuts.
I mean, I make fun of people for being stuck in the 2010s plastic era of where plastic rules them all, and it's really all about the games. And over the past few years, I've started to care less and less about what a piece of plastic is going to offer or not. If for me, if Starfield runs at 30 frames and I want to play it at 60, I'll load it up on my PC. Because Xbox allows you to play those games at the cheapest way or the best way possible. Play it on a handheld. And it's crazy to think about. It really would, and I'm not trying to make some type of hint that Starfield would go multi-platform, but everyone was really questioning where Xbox would go if they were truly, according to the CFO, going to go third party. Because Jez asked Phil, what do you plan to do with Game Pass when it comes to platforms like Nintendo and PlayStation? I should actually pull up. I've got his article here. What he exactly asked. He said, because you know how it is when you paraphrase. He says one of the biggest things on the fans' minds was CFO saying they were going to bring first-party games to PlayStation and Nintendo. And Jez said that many fans are have a worry about this, that the hardware would no longer exist on Xbox. Phil said, quote, "I'll start by saying we have no plans to bring Game Pass to PlayStation or Nintendo. It's not in our plans." But I think you hit it right on the point of what it means to own an Xbox. And then Phil goes on to say that we want to continue to focus on our platform with the Xbox consoles, PC, and then even being able to play games on Rogue Ally, the Lenovo new handheld that's coming up, Steam Deck, etc. Okay? So my question is, what is it really about? Like, why do people truly choose to play or champion the PlayStation or PlayStation 5 or champion the Series X or Series S or defend them, right? And I really think that one of the things that we don't address as fans when we get in discussions online about whose console is better, that it really comes down to two reasons why you play where you play. And people don't want to admit this. The real reason you play on your preferred console is because your friends are there, and that's where you buy your games. Like, you own all of your games there, and you want to continue building that library. The other one, Mag, which you would definitely agree with, is you would put this way up there in the priority where you have collected your trophies or achievements. Like, this is where I've gathered my trophy room of what I've played and how well I've done playing it. Like, where does your priority lie with your favorite place to play? And why?
Well, that's you pretty much nailed it on the head. That's exactly. And by the way, you were talking about how, people get very defensive. The chat has lost their goddamn minds when I said what I said. Not all of them, but like some people lost their minds about what I said. About talking about like a year later going onto the opposing console, like a game like Starfield. I think what people fail to realize is that, for example, a year from now, Xboxes are not selling because of Starfield. They've moved on to something else. That's why you wait a year or whatever else. Yeah. No one's buying consoles a year later to play Starfield. Maybe some. But the thing is, you still have the option to do so.
Spider-Man is the only game that continues to sell PlayStations. Like, God of War doesn't continue to sell PlayStations. Like, that's just an anomaly with Spider-Man, right?
It's done. God of War came out a year ago. It's over.
Yeah.
So, like, even if they brought God of War to Xbox at this point, okay, great. Then you know what? Then people who only own an Xbox can go play God of War. Wonderful. You actually open the door to the market. That's all I was getting at. And of course, this is a theoretical question, so everybody keep your panties on. Anyways,
hold on. Let me say this before I forget. It's actually very much more likely that when I say, we're pleased to announce that this Xbox exclusive is coming to PlayStation next holiday, it would be more likely that a game that they partnered with from a third-party studio on an IP they don't own. Like, let's say Contraband comes out and it was made for Xbox, they published it, they commissioned it, and it's exclusive to Xbox. That would be more likely to say Contraband is coming to the PS5, but Phil has said in a couple of different interviews, including partially what he said with Jez's interview, that their games like Halo, Gears, Forza, Avowed, Fable, like their own franchises, will remain exclusive to their platform. And Satya said it himself, Mag. Yep. We do this because the competition does it. Their owned IPs stay on their platform and don't go multi-platform.
Yep. Yeah, well, that's the reality. What you asked me was a theoretical question.
Right.
So I answered it theoretically. And people in the chat, like a grunge head. And I'm like, okay, dude, just calm down, man.
But personally, it wouldn't make you mad if Starfield went multi-platform because it wasn't your favorite game of the year and you play on whatever you play on. Like,
yeah, but it doesn't matter. If they brought Psychonauts... Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, say what about Psychonauts?
Psychonauts 2 at the PlayStation right now. How's that going to affect Xbox at this point? Except for possibly getting more engagement that they're no longer getting because the game's been out for 2 years.
Yeah. Hey, Dex in the chat. Dex in the chat says, why are Xbox Series X selling lower? Past experience? I don't know what he means by past experience, but I just have to remind people that the Series X is barely outselling the Xbox One. But the Xbox One is a console that the general populace in the gaming world said, do not buy this console. It's got no games. It's more expensive. It's less powerful. Do not buy an Xbox. That was the reality last decade, right? And here the Series X is just a really good platform and console all around. And it's barely outpacing the Xbox One. But that's because since day one, since that console's been out, Microsoft has told you, and Xbox told you, you don't have to have this console. They've basically said you do not need to buy this console. If you want it, it's $300 or it's $500, right? And right now you can get the Series X for $350. Holy shnikes! What do you guys think of this gameplay anyway? Of the
It's an avenue. The consoles are an avenue just to be able to access their product, right? We've had this discussion till we turn blue in the face where like, okay, well, if you want to play on the Series X, go ahead. You want to play on the S, go ahead. You want to play on your PC, go ahead. You want to play it on the tablet, your phone, whatever. Go do your thing, play it wherever, and soon to be on smart TVs with a tile. It's going to be accessible. Fine. Yes, cool.
But like you said all that.
Yeah.
But I think the end of that statement is play on all those devices, but buy it from us and play it on Xbox Live.
Well,
I think
Microsoft
that's how they
is a
get around
service-based
that.
company. Yeah, and they're a service-based company. We all know that. That's what they do, right? And so, like even like when you get things like your Microsoft Word and your Windows and all this other stuff, and then they've got like these subscription services for some of their Microsoft Office, things like that. This is where they're all leaning towards because that's longevity, right? That is ongoing engagement. That's engagement that doesn't go on for a month. Those are engagements that go on for years. Their bread and butter is corporations like mine who pay for those subscriptions over hundreds of thousands of employees that work in my corporation, right? And then and all the different things. It's crazy how many people, and they're all using, and what are they all using? Subscriptions, all paid for to Microsoft. Yeah. And that's what they're going to do. They don't care how you get there. They don't care how you get to the party. They just want you to pay to get into the party and pay the cover charge at the door. That's what they want, right? So they don't care how you get to the party. Just pay your $10 at the door and go inside and go party. And that's what it works out. My question is, what I'd like to know is what are the engagement numbers compared to console sales last generation? Like, so for example, if you have, however many Xbox One sold, I can't remember off the top of my head. I want to know 40, how many people.
40 million.
Was that it? Was that it?
Yeah.
I thought it was higher than that.
Yeah, maybe it was almost 60, but whatever. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's just say for argument's sake.
Anyway. Yeah.
60.
I don't.
All right. Let's just say 60.
I don't even care anymore.
No, but I mean, my question is now. Remember, the last generation was all about the consoles because they weren't utilizing the online infrastructure that they have now with cloud gaming and all this other stuff or whatever, right? And being able to access Game Pass wherever you have a smart device. I'd like to know how many people are engaged now compared to console sales last gen. So the thing is, if you look at something like that, then you could say, okay, well, console sales are down now. They're not selling as many. Okay, but still, are there more people accessing online? Which would mean that you're actually outpacing the last generation, if that's indeed the case.
I think their monthly active users are up, even with all of the downturn they've had. If you guys are enjoying the show, we've had almost about 700 people here. Hit the like button to show your support for the channel. Minimizing chat and hitting like really helps. It helps to kind of boost our morale. No, it's a good thing to kind of show people what they think of the show, and if they're learning something or having a good time. We try to do a little bit of our very limited intelligence. We try to give a little bit of entertainment to. I was being really rude to myself. I apologize, but no, we really appreciate you guys sticking with us and hanging out the show. Hit the like button, show that support. This is episode 128. So had Mag here for quite a while. Really enjoying it. I got a couple supers here. I wanted to say about Baldur's Gate 3 coming to Game Pass. Phil said that he wanted to do the family plan. And the nicest way possible in Jez Corden's interview, he said, we have to do what's right for, I'm reading this off, or saying this off the top of my head. We need to do what's right for our creators and for our customers. And when he says that, he means the partners that say, yeah, you can put our game into Game Pass for that amount of money. And I think there might be some kickback, Meg, where some of the developers or publishers are saying, you're going to share this with like 5 family members for this much money, but we were paid that amount. Like, that doesn't seem like you should have offered us more if you're sharing it with 5 people for just a small amount of money. And I think in a nice way, Phil said, we need to do what's right for our creators, being the game developers in Game Pass and the customers. And I don't remember what the rumored amount was for family game share, but it was a really good deal if you have three or 4 people you want to share with. So
I think it was $25. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, compared to the 15 or 18 you get a really good deal for sharing it with up to 5 family members. And then you have a console share in there as well. So you could really extend that. I think developers probably giving pushback to Phil and the team saying, you only paid us enough to cover that one person not buying the game. So that's kind of where I wanted to get there with the Baldur's Gate 3 and their expectations. Mike Keys, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. He says, always look forward to catch you guys live with the XNC podcast. Really does feel like a cool community for gamers. Thank you so much to you both. And then he mentions Gaz, that slime ball who's been hiding while he builds up his new channel. But Meg and I really appreciate it, Mike Keys, because the chat over here on this side of my screen really lends to us having a good hangout. As I feel like sometimes, Meg, we're all kind of gathered in the family room and just talking games for a couple hours.
That's it. That's what we do, man. We're just having fun and just, shooting the breeze, having a good time, not taking things too seriously and whatever. Like, we're just doing whatever, man. Because at the end of the day, this is a hobby. I know it's a career for a lot of people and whatever else, but at the same time, for us at least specifically, this is something that's supposed to bring us joy outside of, the work. The grind of the daily grind, the work, the everything else, the nonsense, the fighting, all the crazy. Yeah, hey brother, the cream of the crop. Yeah,
we'll break your back, meatball.
Hey, freak show, I got you for 3 minutes. Yeah, Bonesaw's gonna cut you. Yeah.
I saw a meme of that Spider-Man clip of where that's Macho Man Savage playing that character, right?
Yeah.
He's like, it's like a meme, like when I tried to corner my wife, into the bedroom. I got you for 3 minutes. Yeah. Spider, thank you so much for the NOK KR100, which I think is a Norwegian currency, which is awesome. He says
Norwegian krona. Yes.
I love it.
I listen to Midnight's Edge, so it's run by a Norwegian, so they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm 1/8 Norwegian, so I'm very, very, very proud to hear that.
Norwegian krona, yes. Thank you, my friend.
Yes, thank you
Carry
so
on.
much. He says, it's Baldur's Gate 3 on Game Pass, or is that launching the day of the show? We know it's launching in December. I'll stop his chat there and say, it's probably very likely that Baldur's Gate is launching the week of the Game Awards. Like that the release date will be announced. It'll be that Thursday or that Friday. He says, and they're announcing the release date of the show. Microsoft has some money to throw around. Yes! Like we said last week, like the Xbox tax thing. Like, instead of making excuses, ask Microsoft to throw that money at the problem and say, hey, fill in the gaps while you're waiting for the other stuff to kick butt. Throw some money at Larian Studios and put that thing in Game Pass.
We haven't been saying that forever.
Right here, right?
Jesus. Yeah, we've been saying it forever.
Yep.
Travis Vernon, what are you saying over there? He's like, there's a booger in your nose. You better not be talking to any of us.
Me?
Now I'm gonna be checking.
On your nose?
There's nothing here, man.
Can you imagine? I remember one show I had Rand on here, that slime ball, and I said, the games are spectacular. And a big piece of spit flew, and he goes, did you guys just see that spit fly? I'm like, Rand, you don't have to put a spotlight on it.
You know what the thing is, though? And you know what? We couldn't see what Rand's doing because he refuses to turn on the camera.
That lying sack of shizness that said he would have a camera and be on camera after 100,000 subs. Now, 100,000 subs after 100,000 means anything. So, yeah, in 9 years, when Fable comes out, he'll have that camera.
What just happened? He's like, Mag, you sound like you have the coronavirus. I did.
Yeah, I was going to ask early in the show, how long were you out? Like, when did you kind of recover? How many days?
No, only a couple days. It was like a couple, by Friday, I took Thursday. I worked Tuesday, Wednesday sick. I didn't even know. I mean, I knew I was not well, but I didn't know I was positive. But after Wednesday at work, I was like, I'm going to take a test. So I took a test on Wednesday, and I tested positive, and because of where I work, I cannot be in the building. So I took Thursday, Friday off. I was back to work Saturday. And I worked Saturday, I worked Sunday, I worked today, and I'm working the rest of the week. So, yeah, no, I'm fine. It's just a little bit, just getting over that congestion. But whatever. Yes!
2 days, only 2 days could stop the great Mag. Where was I? There we go. Matt McDonald Media. Matt McDonald Media, where we bring you all of the great super chats from the Canadian $5. Thank you so much, Matt McDonald Media, for the little bit of.
Have you tried the lasagna? It's my favorite.
Give me that.
Thank you. Yeah,
I was gonna text. I'm gonna text you tomorrow. Give me that. He says,
give me
Nate,
that.
that guy's such a jerk. That guy Frank with the tucked in shirt and the mustache. Give me that.
You like hot fudge sundaes? All right.
All right.
Yep.
Nate the Hate, he says, Matt McDonald Media. Nate the Hate stayed in his podcast today with MVG, Modern Vintage Gamer. Good dude. He says that Arcane are announcing their new game at the Game Awards. Dishonored 3, perhaps? You dudes rock. I did not have an Arcane announcement. Yeah, thank you.
I didn't have an Arcane announcement in the cards. However, I did hear that Dishonored 3 is well into production.
From Arcane Leon?
What do you mean I'm gonna? Oh, I thought you were asking for my source. You're like from, and I'm like, I'm not gonna say that on the air. What the hell, Cole? I gotta keep those guys in check. I can't, I can't.
I love if you were like source.
Yeah, source, and I'm like, yeah, we're not gonna tell you the source.
Somebody was like, I used a quote from the CEO of PlayStation saying that console sales are niche. He's like, source. I'm like, PlayStation? I don't know what to tell you. We got Nintendo. I apologize. He says, Nintendo the Otaku. I don't know why I didn't say his name properly today. Thank you for the super. He says, Xbox at the end of the TGA, quote, every game available on Xbox that's nominated for an award will now be on Game Pass starting today. That would guarantee subs.
Yeah, sure.
I can't imagine them putting Alan Wake on there right away.
No, God, no.
Yeah.
That's like some next level. Spartan 661, what's up, dude? No. That'd be way too much. That's unrealistic. I mean, it's fun to even speculate and have a good time and think about it, but yeah, that's a little excessive.
I mean, Xbox has had a lot of well-loved or nominated games in Game Pass. Like Sea of Stars didn't get much love throughout the whole thing. Welcome, Matthew Barrows. What was that?
What?
I thought I heard yeah or something.
No, I just went like that. That's yeah. I was agreeing with you.
I just heard it on the periphery. I'm like, what happened? I thought it was that Frank guy. Give me that. Matthew Barrios, welcome. Dexatron, welcome to the early channel membership. Yeah. I don't know. I really want to know what this thing is that Shinobi is teasing that is an Xbox big announcement or something that Xbox fans are going to be excited about. Special Nick was talking about some arcade game that was really well loved. And when I heard that, I'm like, no, the last thing Xbox needs is a small, well-loved game. Like they need big, strong game.
It's going to be Dragon's Lair. Dragon's Lair is coming to Game Pass this Thursday, right after the show. It's going to shadow drop into Game Pass.
Oh my god!
Get ready for it, folks. You heard it here. You heard it here first.
Yeah, people are talking about Hexen making a big return. I would be like, great. And I know people love. there's games that people love, like Castle Crashers, Hexen, like Geometry Wars and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, go for it. Yeah. Did you try the lasagna?
Yes, I already went to math. I already had math class in school. I don't need to do it again. So
you tried the lasagna?
Yeah,
it's my favorite.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Kenny
yes,
G
carry on.
saxophone really gets me going. In times. I actually watched that whole thing where it's just like, now don't forget the little kids too. Somebody like remixed it, and then he said something rude to a kid. Kid came up with yeah, but yeah. Matthew Barrow says they brought back Hexen. I would open my wallet. Yeah, I mean, Drew Iron Lake says Viva Pinata. Laugh out loud. Just make something big. Do something big. Like they need something.
Didn't Cognito always say that hashtag just one?
Yeah.
You need that one that basically cracks the general audience, the general public, the normies. You need something to crack the normies. So you need to get to the normies. If you can get to the normies, you made it.
We all know what goes on screen that the general populace will go, wow. And like a niche classic like Hexen isn't going to make everybody turn their head and look, especially with the Grand Theft Auto reveal this week. But I don't know if it's going to be Indiana Jones like that. I think that would be a good time to show the game. I don't think it's Hellblade. A source I was talking to says it's definitely something that we've never seen before. Like it's I guess it's supposed to be a new announcement. Here's some game you didn't know was in development coming out in the next 2 years. So I don't know what to say to that other than thank you guys so much for being here. We've hit the 2-hour mark, and I had a really good time tonight, Mag.
I had a great time today. We had some we had some great people in the chat tonight. I know I throw shade at you guys. I'm just having fun. We're all just having fun. We're all having a good time. I appreciate every single last one of you that show up to this show every single week to come and listen to us. Like I said, talk the talk and shoot the breeze. So we're doing our thing, and I'm enjoying every minute of it. And what a great day for a news drop. It was wonderful, and I can guarantee you next week we're going to be talking about the aftermath, the post-mortem, so to speak, of the Game Awards. I look forward to that, and we will talk. We will continue to talk and what's going to come, and of course we're going to have all of those reveals, and then we're going to have some nailed down dates for 2024 proper. I know someone was in the chat freaking out because I didn't, I was saying that about Hellblade, and then they're like, yeah, it's coming soon. Phil's version of coming soon could be 6 months, could be another 2 years. We don't know. So I'm just saying, when
Stalker
I get
2
the
is supposed
date,
to come out by like February or something as well, but I've heard mixed reception on that.
That's what I'm saying. Until I get dates, this goes back to 2 hours ago when we were talking about our most anticipated games of 2024. I'm not going to say yes to any of those games until I got a date. Right? So, when we get at the end of the Game Awards, we're going to get dates. I guarantee it. We're going to get all those things. We're going to get more reveals, and we're going to have a lot to talk about next week in terms of, like I said, the postmortem of what happened after the show. So I look forward to that. It was a great show tonight. Chat, you guys were amazing. And everybody listening to it after the fact on YouTube and Spotify, please enjoy our show. And we're glad that you guys keep coming week after week to come check us out. Colt, thank you very much, brother. We're all going to have ourselves a great evening, and we'll see you all next week.
Yeah, we appreciate it. A couple of supers that came in. Thanks, Hargy, for reminding me because I didn't refresh the old sucker there. Hargy Johnny with a $10 super chat in the blazing goldenrod yellow. He says, not official, but based on completion data from Larian Studios and Steam sales numbers, Baldur's Gate 3 has a total of around 7.5 to 8 million copies. PC was 5.2 million official from August, should be over 6 to 7 million on PC. So according to Hargeet's calculations, PS5 sold less than 1 million copies of Baldur's Gate 3. And I would assume that Xbox would sell less than 500,000 copies if that number is accurate, right?
That's not bad for play. Like, that's not bad for coming out. Like, for PlayStation getting about 1 million copies in there, it's not great, but it's not horrifying considering that on that specific ecosystem they had marketing for Call of Duty, they had Spider-Man coming out, all fighting for attention. You had people playing Starfield at the same time that it came out, right? Didn't it come out the same week as Starfield, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, I think it did. Yeah.
Okay, so you had all those. That's not bad. If they were able to squeeze 1 million copies out of there, and let's not forget, if it wins Game of the Year, there'll be a slight boost.
Yes,
in
there
sales.
will. Yeah, there will.
So not bad. So you know what? That being the case, if they're going to sell about 500 to, let's say, 500 to 600,000 copies on Xbox, that's affordable for Microsoft to go to them and say, listen, we'll give you the equivalent of 600,000 copies. You know what I'm saying?
Or a little
and then
extra,
let us think,
yeah,
and a little extra
there,
for your pockets. Go buy yourself an ice cream.
Now,
you know what I mean? Like your grandma does. Here's $20. Go buy yourself an ice cream.
Hot Fudge Sundays? All right.
I mean, somebody could do the math if they're listening to the show on demand, but like if Xbox says we project that they will sell 350,000 copies of Baldur's Gate 3, so we're going to give you that times $70 as a lump sum, and then you'll sell some. Plus, you'll have this lump sum in Game Pass. Hargy adds another super chat and says, also, as I've been saying, Phil confirmed they spent $1 billion a year for third-party deals on Game Pass. So, Jesus. Which we know they make at least $3 billion in revenue on Game Pass, and they're pumping in $1 billion, but that doesn't include their studios. But I think they're doing okay, and I think Xbox can afford to be a little more aggressive with that. One last super chat is from Red Wolf. For $2, he says, "Revive me, Anya." The other night, he asked me to help him beat the final boss in Wolfenstein Youngblood. And I beat that game in 2019 with Dealer Gaming and co-op. We played the whole game. And once I got to the boss, I'm like, oh yes, I remember this. It's ridiculously sucky. You're on a small platform with 4 towers that you can go up, and the guy's on a jetpack, and jets fly overhead and barrage and just nuke you. It's the most ridiculous boss fight. And he's like, Colt, just play it. It'll take us 5 minutes. And so I reinstall the whole game. We played it. I hope he's still here right now while I tell the story. But Holly was in the chat with us, that blue number, and she listened to us rage for an hour and a half while we fought this 7-minute battle over and over and over. And then finally, at the very last moment, he was down across the map. I ran over and revived him. And revive me, Anya. Wolfenstein Youngblood. The guy was standing right there up on the top bridge, and I just jumped up and pointed at him and just shot as I fell down so I wouldn't get hit. And at kill shot, he unlocked the achievement. It was like 5% of all gamers on Xbox have beaten this final boss in Wolfenstein Youngblood, which is such a mid game. But yeah, he's there. He says it was horrible, but amazing way we did finish it. It was like 2:30 in the morning for him, and he was starting to get sick, and he was super tired. And Xbox has no games. It was a great day. So
you know what? Speaking of doing that, now that you mentioned that, I've already got the 1,000 out of 1,000 for Modern Warfare 2 on Xbox. I've gone back because I got Modern Warfare 3 for free on PS5. However, here's something that really pisses me off is that they put the trophy list with no platinum, by the way, but they put it as a DLC. That's a surprise. Right. They put it as a DLC under the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 trophy list, right? So the thing is, I don't have Modern Warfare 2 on PlayStation 5 because I played it on Xbox, right? So now I'm looking for a used copy of Modern Warfare 2 because I want to get that platinum, because the platinum will show up on the Modern Warfare 2 / Modern Warfare T. Yes, 3. So it's going to show up on my list, and it's going, like I said, it's going to piss me off because I like to have all my platinum trophies. And so I'm like, now I got to go back, and they have this co-op section where you have to play online co-op with someone to do these 3 like open area missions, whatever. And so now I got to go back and I got to go find someone to boost the trophies with. So if anybody wants to play online co-op with me on Modern Warfare 2 when I pick it up in the next week or so, I want to get those trophies on that. And then the rest of it is single player. Single player I could do on my own. And then go back and do Modern Warfare 3. So I get it. So like now I got to find somebody who wants to go back and actually do that with me, right?
And Red's being like he's being such a stickler. He has this list he's put out of all these games he wants to finish. And when we were losing this boss, I kept saying over and over, like, bro, just consider it done. Like, consider that we beat it. I'll tell you the ending. Like, and he's like, no, I have to do it. And we did. And
anybody want to do that with me, by the way, the Modern Warfare 2 thing, reach out to me, DM me. I'm 100% want to do it. There's an online co-op section. We have to do these open missions, and you have to get 3 stars on them. It's actually really difficult. But again, I did it on Xbox, and it was no problem with a good player. But like I said, PlayStation, I never owned it, so I'm like, well, now I got to get it because I can't leave that open-ended. And whoever's stupid-ass idea was that to not put a platinum trophy of Modern Warfare 3, you charge full price, but you don't put a separate trophy list? Come on, man, get it together. I'm looking at you right in the camera.
It was Bobby's idea. Shout out to
Phil's now.
Shout out to
Phil's
500
problem now, isn't it?
But throw some money at it, Phil. Shout out to 500 people listening to us talk about this, and shout out to friends that have played games and that have helped each other get those final bosses taken care of. We appreciate that. One last super is from, where is it? It's over here. It's from Ryan. He says, what's going on with Toto Hydra? And I think Ryan's referring to a great podcast I listen to every 2 weeks called Tape Heads. My brother runs this podcast. It's audio only, and they talk about, it's so great, I should have plugged this earlier on in the show, but they talk for 45 minutes about 80s and 90s music. They talk about like the lead up of 80s music to hair metal into 90s music and kind of shying away from the grunge scene and the music that they grew up on. And you'll get some really great insights because they're both incredible musicians that do the show, my brother and his best friend. Check out Tapeheads on Spotify podcast. It's a great listen when you're driving. They play the segments of the songs while they're talking about them. They just broke down Rosanna by Toto, which is one of my all-time favorite songs. They played the isolated drums, isolated guitar. They talked about how they wrote the song and recorded it. So that stuff's really cool. If you're still in the vibe of 80s music and getting ready to play Grand Theft Auto in 2 years, that would be your jam. Let me make sure I've got everything buttoned up.
You got one more. You got one more. One more just came in.
Right here from Spider again. I love that name. He says, Modern Warfare 2 has crossplay, doesn't it? Play with some Xbox players. That's probably true. I don't know if you can do crossplay in the campaign, which that's what you're asking about.
No, it's not. It's not campaign. It's a co-op mode. It's completely separate from the campaign. There's the campaign multiplayer, and then there's a co-op section where you have to do these little side missions. Yeah, dude, hit me up, man. I'm always around. If it works, it works. But I gotta buy the game first, so maybe check me out in a week.
Please reach out to Mag. His handle is in the
I am
description.
the Mag.
Yeah, I am the Mag.
I am the Mag. It's the same everywhere.
Red Wolf knows Red Wolf knows an actual tidbit, which makes me very super proud of him since he's my son. He says the lead singer of Toto is the son of John Williams, the Star Wars composer.
Whoa! Yes. Get out of here.
The lead singer for Toto is Joseph Williams. I met him 10 years ago. Backstage at one of their concerts. I've been a fan of these guys since I was 16, and 10 years ago I was standing there talking to him about vocals because when he was touring in like 88, he completely thrashed his voice and had to stop touring with the band, and they fired him. And now he's working with a vocal coach and singing excellent. I was standing there talking to one of my absolute singing idols about music. It was amazing. And I also met the lead guitarist, who's Steve Lukather, is amazing. But yeah, Red Wolf, shout out you for knowing that. Toto's one of my all-time favorites. You guys are amazing. This is the XNC Podcast, episode 128. It will be on demand. I wanted to say really quick that I'm doing some different things on the podcast, and I hope you're okay with it. If not, you don't have to check it out. But what I'm going to be doing, Mag, and what I've done is when I make a production video on my YouTube channel, I'm going to upload an audio and video version of that to the podcast platform. So if you're in your car and you want to see what's up with XNC, the other day you can listen to the 14-minute audio segment of me reading Phil's quotes in the interview from Jez Corden and a little bit of conversation that goes along with that. So you've got the XNC podcast that runs like 2 hours, and then every week you should get one 12 to 14-minute segment, which are kind of like Xbox news breaks. And you can actually watch the video or listen to it there. And it's just kind of an extra way to, if I don't want to, not everybody can have YouTube Premium where you can watch a video in standby mode with your phone off. Like, this is a way to just check out the news without getting it in one place. So we're just trying to kind of expand that. But Meg, I really appreciate you. I've done a lot of talking.
Hold on. We've done a lot of talking. You got one last thing to say. Highlander's saying that we missed his member chat. I just found it. You want me to read it?
Oh, yeah. If you found it, yeah. Go for it.
I found it. It's Highlander 001, a member for 17 months. Thank you very much, my friend. He says, great show as always. As an Xbox fan, I only care that games are good and do care where people play them. I want WoW, that's World of Warcraft for anybody who doesn't know, on console. That's all I care for. All right.
Awesome.
We didn't miss it. I caught you at the end. Sorry, brother.
Thank you. Meg is like, he's the best co-host that could ever be. JW Universe, welcome to the channel membership. We had about 12 people join today, and that's really awesome. Appreciate you guys. Keep the studio lights on. And Loki, if you saw him on the feed today, keeps him fed. He's a food demon. We're gonna get out of here. Thank you so much, everybody. Meg, what are you gonna play the rest of the week? What's that one game that you're jumping on?
I'm going to be playing Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, and I'm going to see if I can secure myself a copy of that Modern Warfare 2, so I can go after that completion after I'm done Tiny Tina's. And then as soon as my wife has some free time during the holidays, close to the holidays, back to Alan Wake 2, baby.
Yeah, baby. Awesome. Yeah, it's a good time. Enjoy it, everybody. We're going to get out of here. We'll see you next week. Keep an eye on the channel. Hopefully I make some content. You guys are amazing. Hit the like button on the way out. It keeps us alive. We will see you later. Mag, I'll talk to you soon.
Later, guys.